In the distant future, mankind has reached the stars, but the galaxy is troubled.
What do you think you're doing? Don't fire!
The Earthsphere Alliance rules the outlying colonies with an iron fist.
I'm sure God would understand the steps we're taking.
Isn't it about time you people realized the ones posing the most threat are none other than yourselves? We've had enough!
Those who oppose them
We won't be needing you any further.
What?
die. Battles are waged with mobile suits, the key to military dominance. The only hope for the colonies, 5 elite soldiers and their legendary mobile suits called Gundams.
There will be a day when the Gundams will save us all.
What this is war.
All of you are very mistaken, and the Gundams will soon come to rectify your mistakes.
Silence!
Now, these pilots will shake the foundations of the Alliance and change the course of history.
You saw I was a kid and you underestimated me. Shouldn't be fighting at all!
If they can stay alive.
Those Gundam pilots are desperate. They'll battle even if it means forfeiting their lives. Mission accepted.
It's a Gundam! Enemy attack!
I'll eliminate all obstacles.
Just who are you anyway?
Say goodbye.
Get all mobile suits ready for combat at once! Can you?
Don't die on me!
From the Gundam universe, a new chapter in one of the greatest anime sagas of all time. Gundam Wing. Weekdays at 5:30. Suit up.
Those who have laid eyes on a Gundam shall not live to tell about it.
Only Toonami.
All next week at 5:30, Johnny Quest packs his bags.
What kid?
And Toonami goes to war.
We've got a full-scale threat attack!
Open fire!
For 1 week only.
To your stations, quickly!
Beast Wars. All next week at 5:30. Transformers 90s style. Only on Toonami.
Proximity alert. Proximity alert.
Flash.
The most anime on Saturday outside of Japan.
You just made my day.
Toonami, The Rising Sun. Saturday from 9 to noon. A day which will live in infamy.
Stop something. What is it?
A war.
What's Laplace's box?
Love on good, fear on evil. Premieres March 17th on Toonami.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing. Can I count it on? Can I
It's a
count it
total
on?
eclipse of the heart.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, wait, cool.
Can I count it on? Can I count it on? 1, 2, 3, 4.
After Colony 196, humanity finally achieves peace. But the ashes of war give birth to a new threat.
We at Colony L3X18999 hereby wish to declare war against the nation.
A child is building an empire to avenge her father.
I will rule the world.
With Gundams at her side, Earth will feel her fury.
Drop the colony onto Earth. Stop this at once.
The remaining pilots will battle each other to stop her.
I'm asking if you guys guys are doing the right thing!
The endless waltz of war, peace, and revolution continues.
See for yourself just how powerless you are.
Roger that.
Prepare yourself for Gundam like you've never seen it before.
You will surrender!
Special Gundam Wing movie, Endless Waltz. Friday, November 10th at 5. Suit up again. Only Toonami. Toonami's bringing back Saturday mornings. I'm going to show you a little experiment. 3 hours of quality Toonami programming, and it's not even a school day. Starting at 9, you get back-to-back Thundercats.
If we're gonna do it, let's do it.
Then Sailor Moon at 10.
Moon, sky, earth, fire, air, water, rock, stars.
The Saturday premiere of Tenchi Muyo at 10:30. The Garlic Jr. Saga at 11. And the Powerpuff Girls at 11:30. The most anime on Saturday outside of Japan. Toonami, The Rising Sun. Saturday from 9 to noon. A day which will live in infamy.
Reactor engaged. Faction locked. All go.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Let me take the music down a notch, and we'll see if that helps. I don't know if the background music will continue to play the entire stream or not. I'm sorry that I had to mute part of the intro. I used the wrong one, the one that gets me copyright, nailed. So I have a bit of fun tonight. Now, I want to be very clear here. I know that people were probably expecting this stream to be 100% an accountability thing. It's not. We can point out accountability in the sense of pointing out severe inconsistencies of all of this, but mostly this is just going to dog on these two people because I am kind of sick of it. Now, dogging on Patch this far out simply because I have enough built up to where I've just had enough. Patch has hurt people I care about, not just me, and I would like to give them this space to talk about that as well. And as far as Opal goes, they were dumb enough to try to come back making 2 videos where they unironically, and I'm not being hyperbolic, unironically are apologizing for bullying predators and freaks. So we'll get to that. That may just be me solo because you see, this entire stream, it's so late because Monstrous here lives in the godless state that is California. So she only had time at 8:30 her time, which is 10:30 my time. And I want you all to be aware, the entire time before we hit play or start on this specific section of the stream, Monstrous got an entire dopamine hit because apparently that entire section of commercials just took her back. So she has been slightly bullied in the background for it.
It really did take me back. That was awful. I hated it. Thank you.
I am also joined by Weebus, who is a person that Patch has made false abuse allegations towards, and we're going to be going over that. So say hi to the chat, Weebus.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you, my melanated king. And then we have B. Hello, B. There we go.
I'm here. It's way past my bedtime.
Also, thank you, Digital Sketch. Go ahead.
Real quick. Patch was the first one to come to me about the false allegations about Rebus. At the time, I didn't know him, nor was I not dating him at the time. So I was like, okay. So that's fun.
You'll have to be a little bit louder, though,
yeah,
B.
Huh?
Apparently, some people are having a hard time hearing you because you are small and short.
You are short.
Yeah, I am short. But anyway, imagine coming to me about abuse allegations that I have no idea what to do with. That's not gonna be a fun time.
And no, guys, not B as in ponder.
Yeah,
you don't
I
see.
know why
There's
the hell they went to you.
There's no octopus on screen. I'm sorry. This is not a ponder B. This is Beefame B, like short cat dinosaur person B. Also, thank you for joining the channel. And as you guys see, I finally have upgraded to the 21st century with stream effects and whatnot. So if I have a new sub or a new member joint, it's going to pop up and do a little GIF that I was able to arrange as well as an audio piece. So I won't be able to hear it, but you guys will. All right, so what do you guys want to handle first? Do you guys want to go through the Google Doc first, or do you want to go through Patch winding up getting bodied on a stream by Beckett from last year?
Let's do the doc first.
Yeah, let's do the... Mon, have you read the doc before? I don't remember.
Unfortunately.
All right, so...
Okay.
I haven't. I haven't.
Now we go
I gave
to
them the go ahead.
the reading screen.
I gave them the go ahead. I never read it.
Oh my god.
All right, so does everybody have a link to the doc?
I have it somewhere.
Yeah, let me pull it up really quick. One sec.
Thank you, A Space, for the $2 and the cigarette. Evil stuff. Evil stuff. Thank you, Blinky Iris, for the $5. For the, I'll probably try to hold the rest of the super chats off later. Also, let me go ahead and do this while I'm here. Where is it? I need to promote something, so you have to give me a moment here. Come on. I'm very organized. Very organized. There's nobody more organized than me. I'm the most organized person here.
Oh my god, stop.
Shut up, Leo.
Oh my god.
Get out.
This house is a nightmare.
This house is a nightmare. Yes, we all entered Lio's house.
Also,
we all have to sit on top of the fridge now.
Yeah, I'm looking at this fucking abortion of a document right now, unfortunately.
what a thing to say.
Words.
Okay, so I've also
wait.
Yeah, yeah, way to go, buddy.
That was completely unintentional. Holy fuck.
that I'm not going to make fun of the trauma. I am going to make fun of the accusations, though. Also, I put a link in the chat for Julie's GoFundMe because they're trying to get out of the hellhole they live in. Unfortunately, they're not leaving California as a whole, but they're getting out of where they are in California. So, if you guys are able to handle that, I'd appreciate it.
First part of California?
I don't know. I don't know California. All I know is I've been there twice for Transformer-related things and have no desire to go back.
It's okay. You can stay in your own hellhole. That's fine by me.
I plan on moving up north in the next few years.
Yeah, but that wasn't... I didn't... That was not intentional. That was just horrible choice of words. Anyway.
Okay, so... Does everybody...
Part of Texas is Bucky's, Lio.
I mean, that's a national treasure. We should replace every single Confederate monument with a Bucky statue.
I agree.
Yes.
Unironically.
I agree.
Also,
Lio's house and is trying to make off with his Bumblebee Transformers. Yes.
Oh God,
absolutely.
good luck.
I will steal it. I will steal it.
Also, doggone it, I'm not a Texan. I just live here. All right, so are we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, so
I want the link. Where's the link?
Oh, I got it. Hold on.
I've been waiting for this whole time.
Good, because Monstrous.
I don't keep track of these things.
Monstrous, you're gonna play the part of Shiloh in these DMs, which is Patchwork Heart. For those of you who don't know.
No.
Oh
Do
yes.
You hate me?
No, I give you catharsis.
Oh, that's not catharsis.
Would you rather me do it?
32. Yeah, there's 32 pages. There's no way.
Okay.
That's hatred. That's pure hatred.
Okay, then we will trade places then. Because most of it's screenshots. We'll trade places then just for you, Monstrous, okay?
Are we reading every screen? No, we're not reading every screenshot. Sure.
Oh, yes, we are. Actually, I don't know. It depends on how we feel as we go down.
I was like, I mean, I'm right here.
There's so many stupid screenshots. In
Do you want to be?
Sure.
Who do you? Is Vlad? Who's Vlad? Is B? Is B gonna be Weebus?
Who does? Okay.
What?
What do you people want to do?
I'm confused. I'm confused with what's happening. Sorry.
I can take the bullet and be Patch.
Oh, okay.
That would mean Monstrous.
No, this means I was pregnant at one point.
Okay, Monstrous, then do you want to read the regular text and I'll read Weebus's part?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, all right. So, this was put out on Twitter as a call out against Weebus for the crime of existing, I suppose, where Patch levies emotional abuse and I also believe manipulation towards Weebus. So we're going to go through all their evidence
and sexual coercion.
Ah, yes, that too. That too. So
yeah, lovely.
It says the title of the doc is talking about bad relationships. In October of 2022, I found out I was pregnant. Previously, this had been thought to be impossible due to me being intersex and generally having a body that does not work properly in any way. But, by the cruel hand of fate, I accidentally had a conception. The pregnancy was heck on my mental health, and I tried to lean on my partners. But Person has this habit of bringing it back to himself. Constantly, I forgot to do something. His needs being unmet, something I capitulated to in hopes of placating him, apologizing all the time for not being around, not being intimate with him, apologizing for being damaged and sick and upset. Constantly thanking him for the bare minimum and apologizing for existing during what was a nightmare crisis.
Oh my god, they're so fucking dramatic. I'm sorry. Already getting pissed off and we're not even past the first fucking page.
Emotional damage. I'm reading the chat. I'm sorry. Okay, who's going first?
Weebus is the first person.
East.
Monstrous.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. If you're not able to hang out for a while, I understand. I'll miss you, but I want you to be okay. Period. More than anything. Period.
Why are you reading it like that?
Because it's ridiculous. I'm not taking it seriously.
Oh, fuck.
I'm barely getting out of bed lately, TBH. It's frustrating.
You forgot the ellipses. You forgot to mention the ellipses.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's dot frustrating.
That must be tough.
I have Jess helping, but I honestly cannot wait until those pills come in the mail. FFS. I just want this to be over.
Wait, who was Jess again?
Their partner.
That's their wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, I remember now. Oh my god. Okay. I really miss you, hon. Please talk to me.
Hey, sorry, today was ... a lot. I've been in and out of fronting for a few days. Oh, right, they have supposedly have.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I wish I did.
I think I'm ... spiraling. I might be having one of those big episodes. I'm missing chunks of my day and getting mean with people. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get better, but I don't know how. You're always mean to people. Fuck you.
Oh, fuck.
That sounds like a lot. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. I just miss you so much, Shiloh.
Oh,
God.
This is so fucking embarrassing.
How dare you,
Jesus.
Jessica?
I hope you feel embarrassed by this.
Wag, wag, wag.
How dare you? How dare
I'm sorry. Should I put on like a penguin voice? Would that make
Please
it easier?
don't.
Please don't.
I will fucking kill myself right now.
All right, go ahead, B.
I miss you too. No, you didn't. I'm sorry. I keep trying to pretend everything is normal, but I don't talk to anyone. I'm sorry. I've been giving you the... Wait. I'm sorry I haven't been giving you the attention you need.
How did you misspell this? You know that. You know spell check exists, right,
Oh my
Weebus?
god.
What word? Which word?
You misspelled the word pregnancy. It's pregnancy right here.
Oh my god, who fucking cares to read it? God damn.
Okay. Pregnant.
You have triggered monstrous.
Get out.
I appreciate you saying that. I didn't know things were this bad. God, you guys are so melodramatic. I don't
come
want you
on.
to overwhelm yourself. I was really trying to make sure I gave you the space you needed to deal with this whole pregnancy debacle. I know we don't every single day. I just need my boyfriend.
You have nothing to be sorry for, darling. Get the fuck out. You aren't needy. You have needs. My needs are just different because yours aren't being met. What? Right now the things I need, privacy and isolation, are clashing with yours. Socialization and attention. And I'm sorry that is hurting you. I just don't like being perceived right now. I don't want to exist. Honestly, Mood.
Perceive is also spelled incorrectly. Okay.
I will take you to the woodshed, monstrous.
You my fucking English teacher? Jesus Christ, man.
I'm getting the paddle.
I just don't understand how all this happens. Like, surely this all wasn't like on like a phone or could be like whatever. Who cares anyway? I'm sorry you're going through it. So why do you guys keep apologizing? I don't like seeing you suffer. I'll make sure to give you space so you can have what you need. But I only ask that you at least try not to fall of the face of the earth.
Oh my god, man.
There
I swear to Christ.
I'm just reading what you wrote.
We do need to get through it though. We still do need to get through this though. We've got plenty to cover.
There just has to be a better middle ground than whatever it is whatever is going on right now. It's not good for either of us.
Do you want me to maybe just text you more? Yes.
That would be great. Honestly, even if you're not able to hang out for a while, I just want to be able to talk to you.
My struggles with the pregnancy would always end up being about me validating him, making him feel like he was doing enough, and soothing him. For the record, the DMs actually don't measure this out at all. The entire situation comes down to Patch not communicating anything, being absurdly selfish in the wrongest of ways possible, and then blaming Weebus for not reading their mind. Me thanking him for putting up with me. Not once would he actually reassure me that I wasn't a burden. No, he would just instead encourage me to praise him for the bare minimum, saying he appreciated how grateful I am.
Oh my god, come off it, seriously. That's silly. Hey, hun, are you feeling any better?
Well, the abortion meds came in today. Turns out the at-home treatment takes 3 days. So I'm about to basically be in labor for the next 3 days. Ha!
Oh god.
Welcome to hell. Population, the Shy Guy system. I hate this.
I don't understand that. What joke is that?
They call themselves Shiloh Shy.
Like
their system, DID.
Oh, got you. Okay.
That and some people with DID like name their systems.
Yeah. Okay. We get it. Okay. Right. I should have figured it wouldn't be that easy, but at least you finally got them. The abortion meds, of course.
It was never gonna be easy. It's convenient and simple, but it's not easy. But thank you for dealing with my unstable ass the past 3 months. Hopefully I'll be myself again soon.
Of course, sweetie. I love you. Even though it's been hard sometimes. Right here. Doesn't Weebus reassure
Yes.
Shiloh right here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you're trying. I really appreciate you being grateful. It's not like I need you to constantly sing my praises or anything. What the fuck?
Wait, what?
But it's nice to have that effort recognized.
I'm about to
Is
just...
that crazy? Like, am I crazy for saying that? Or like...
Not for saying that,
I don't
no.
know.
No. And I'm about to just punch up Patch's text here by reading it off in the frickin' Frieza voice if this keeps up. I had to get an abortion because the pregnancy was too dangerous to go to term. It's understandable. And would have either permanently disabled me or ended my life. Not to mention the baby would have been miserable. The day of the abortion came, and Weebus was not very comforting. In fact, he was rather distant and somewhat cold.
Oh, there it is. There it is. The meme. There it is.
And then Hitler went Super Saiyan. That's all I can think of. That's ridiculous.
Oh my god. I'd rather be reading that right now, honestly.
Do it. Do it. Just do that one.
I'll do it. Morning, sweetie. I can't even say it. Morning, sweetie.
Babe.
Oh my fucking god.
Sweaty.
Sweaty. Hey, babe.
How are you holding up? I know you said the next few days were gonna be rough on your body.
Haha! I never want to get pregnant ever again. Then wear fucking condoms, you dumb bitch.
Holy shit. Go, continue.
Oh,
yes.
This is miserable. I didn't notice that part.
I guess, Mon, you can keep going if you want.
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I was answering someone in chat.
No, you're good.
Where'd you leave off?
I can tell. That's where we left off.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't blame you. Oh god, we're only 5 pages in. Are we really gonna do this whole thing? Jesus.
If we need to skip things, we can, but Monster's got to keep up.
I just want to point. I just want to point out. Someone was like, "Oh, they found black market abortion meds." Someone said that in chat, and I said, "You can order mifepristone for cheap." And for some reason, YouTube blocked my comment.
Lamau.
I
point that out.
Black market abort. I'm just gonna say it since Vlad's not in calling. I'm not bringing him in, doggone it. Coat hangers are really cheap at Walmart, anyways.
Oh,
right.
Oh, fuck.
And before I get tagged as like
Mom.
super supportive of abortion, cancel him. Go ahead.
Okay. I can tell. It's why I don't blame you for feeling like shit for the past few weeks.
condoms are mandatory until I get sterilized. They should just be mandatory anyway.
Understood.
Hey, so it happened, and I kind of feel violated and broken and disgusting, so I'm probably not going to be around for a lot.
Alright, since the chat requested it. I couldn't afford to go to Planned Parenthood. They don't take my insurance. So I had to do it myself at home. And it went really, 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 really badly. And when I told him that I was feeling broken and violated, like Broly did to me that one time, there was no response. Nothing. No, are you okay? No, what happened? No, do you need me? Nothing. The next day I posted about my feelings in a private server I shared with Weebus at the time. It was not good. I was still, and oftentimes am still, deeply traumatized by the horror movie-esque situation that was my abortion experience.
CW.
Are we? Oh, are you gonna read
Do
the
we
whole
really need to
thing?
read that one?
We
No,
don't need to read that.
no, we ain't reading that. Nope. Moving on. I gotta find my place again because I scrolled back too fast.
I'm not reading that. I'm sorry that happened, or I'm happy for you. Well, now,
It's all right.
I just want to point out something when we get to the next screenshot. The time, because they were complaining about how, I didn't respond and there was nothing. if you look at the time in between where they said that and I responded, you'll notice that it was a 4-hour difference. But what you also need to understand is that they live in Oregon, which is Pacific time. I live on the East Coast. I'm 3 hours ahead. So they sent this at it was 1 a.m. in the morning for me, and I responded 4 hours later because I was asleep because I had to get up for work because I have a job. A job.
They get a job and they go to that job.
Job to do their job.
All right, so let's move on here.
Okay.
Thanks, Real, for censoring the word job.
It wasn't until
I just read what you.
Hold on, I gotta read this.
Oh.
It wasn't until he saw that post that he acknowledged this at all. How dare you?
This is safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, hon, I just read what you posted in Void. I can't imagine what you're going through right now. I'm so sorry. Please take all the time you need to recover. I'll miss you a ton, but I understand.
I'm just kind of breaking. I feel violated.
I know, my love. This whole process has been super rough on you. I'm glad it's over, but I know you still have to deal with the lingering effects of everything.
I wasn't expecting it to look so. I just wasn't expecting it to look so human.
Were they expecting a Were they expecting a velociraptor?
Oh, fuck.
I personally was expecting a cow, but to each their own.
Oh. Hello, Julie.
Me neither.
Shit.
But I can't imagine how traumatic that was. I'm so sorry you had to see that, sweetie.
We should have had
Ready?
Lyle censor that word. I guess.
Oh yeah.
Sweetie is a trigger, apparently.
Apparently.
I'm sorry. I will censor from here on out. Instead of sweetie, it will now be sweaty.
Thank you, Mom. I appreciate
So
the effort.
welcome to what I do best.
I'm sorry, Weebus. I love you, and I'm sorry this happened. No, you fucking don't. Anyway, your turn.
I love you too. This has been rough for us, but more you than anyone. I'm so sorry you had to go through this. I didn't realize how badly something like this could affect you until it happened.
I think I just need time and therapy. A lot.
Oh, this was the breaking point for therapy. Nothing else before this.
Nope.
Really?
Also, the whole you never checked in, never asked. That's literally all he did here, empathizing with them and worrying about them. Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, at this point, I'm starting to wonder if Patch could have.
I was worried sick.
Right? At this point, I'm wondering if Patch could have a breakup that isn't somehow abuse.
That's the thing. I was worried sick about them, and then there was also the fact what they don't show is the many times that I kept reaching out to them, and they would ignore me for days on end, up to even over a week sometimes. But that doesn't fit the narrative, so they conveniently left that out.
Of course.
Yep.
Next screen cap.
Okay. I got tea. I don't fuck with coffee, to be honest. I can't wait to get home. I need to be in bed ASAP.
Oh, mood.
That's fair.
What the fuck? Hold on. Wait, what?
I don't know what the context of this is. I think I was getting home from work or something, or from I don't know. But either way, I don't know why they included that. That was weird. Anyway.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's fair, LOL. I'm just trying to stay stable at this point.
I don't blame you. You went through some extremely rough shit. I'm glad. All I'm worrying about is being tired right now.
Oh. I know I did the right thing for both me and the baby, but it was a lot.
It sure was.
I don't think I'm gonna be the same person after this. Not really.
Oh, fucking god. Okay. I can't blame you. God, this is just so fucking dramatic. Like,
Well,
okay.
it can be
I
Trump.
just hope this doesn't make you worse off. No one's gonna argue that. I'm not gonna sit here and argue that. But, like, you sit there and you're like, oh, I should probably get some therapy. So what am I gonna do? Treat my significant other like my therapist. My dog is going bananas in the background. But yeah. Like, Jesus fuck, like, go get a therapist then if you think you need one.
Well, I mean, this is a traumatic thing, from what I understand, that happens to a lot of people, especially if they did use, like, back alley nonsense to do so, which is odd. I thought they were in a fairly progressive state, but, you know, the economy does suck.
There's no way. Like, I literally just, well, I tried to, although I think YouTube censored me. You can literally buy mifepristone online for cheap. There's, like, you don't have to buy back alley abortion bed.
It sounds like a Pokemon.
Like,
Oh my god.
Anyways, on to this. My dysphoria was through the roof. I had to become Black Frieza. I lost all desire to be sexual or intimate. I grieved for months. I felt violated by the pregnancy and the abortion alike. But even then, he couldn't help but make it about himself.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, no, I don't know.
This is so. Oh my god, we're only 8 pages in.
Here, let me go ahead and look through here. Let me go ahead and look through here and see here, because most of this is just literally contradictions of what they're saying versus what's being shown here. Like here, and the further we talked, the more it became clear that he was projecting his issues with his ex onto me, rather than being aware of how his actions affected others. Pat projects onto everybody and their mom about everybody and their mom that's ever bothered them. What is this nonsense?
The more I read this document, the more I realize that, like, this could have been an email.
I was thinking about that
goddamn.
And mind you, I don't know if Lyos has the link to my document because I wasn't originally planning on being here. This all started. This doc was made because Weebus went onto Shiloh's TikTok account, and I guess that triggered them. And instead of, blocking him, they came to me and was like, "Oh, we insert government name here." Mind you, I had no idea who that was, and was like, "Oh, should I make a document?" And I was like, sure? Question mark.
Also,
this all started because of TikTok.
Real quick to the chat, specifically, DZ, nobody's mocking Shiloh's abortion. We're mocking Shiloh for making a Google Doc to try to paint someone as an abuser when they're not. That's why I'm being dramatic in the reading. I don't think to a point anyone here has made fun of the fact that they had an abortion. That's... What?
No.
Lord,
no,
have some sense.
I hate them, and I haven't done that. Baiji has, but, he hates them more than me, so...
Which is odd!
Go figure.
Somehow!
I think it's fucking hilarious, honestly.
I'm just gonna skim through the rest of this.
Oh, Busy's asking to join us.
Busy! Yes.
Chris, no!
Yeah, they just want to say one thing, I'm assuming related to everything that happened.
Sure.
I can add them if you're good with that.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
I like Busy.
Hold on, Busy. Let me just see if I remember how to add people. I'm fucking, not sober right now.
Of course you're not.
I mean, if I had to read this doc, I wasn't doing it, so... Come on
that's
now.
fair.
I'll link an edited version of the doc in the description at the end of the stream.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
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 Hey, hello.
Finger guns.
Hello.
Hey.
It's like that scene from Into the Spider-Verse where Miles puts his hand on Gwen's shoulder and is like, "Hey."
Oh no! Stop.
I would like to clarify one major point of issue I have with anything that Patch claims about you Weebus not responding to things or you not doing things appropriately or whatever the fuck. When would you have had the time to be a hurtful, abusive person when Patch was never around? Half of any claims, half of the time that you were with Patch, you were in me and Drunkle's DMs going, I just wish Patch would talk to me. I just wish Patch would talk to me. I don't know where they are. I haven't talked to them in weeks. When would you have had the time to be this abusive asshole they're claiming you are?
I don't know, like, because half the time I couldn't even get a hold of them. But,
Because Patch always needs to be the victim, no matter what.
Drunkle also wanted to say that they really, really hate Patch. So...
that tracks.
Just putting that out there. But yeah.
That tracks.
Not as much as Baiji, though.
Oh, he's shouting from across the apartment. He said on a biblical level he hates Patch.
Gay on gay communication.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Correct. That was all I really had to say at the moment. I'll be quiet now.
All right, so my throat's starting to bother me anyway, so back to reading this. He tried to be accommodating, I suppose. I want to believe he was making an effort to be good to me, which he was, to do right by me. I want to believe these feelings were real. But Weebus would frankly bring up how much he missed me. What? And how he missed me being sexual. Okay? How he would get mad at me and feel like he doesn't matter or wasn't a priority. Spoiler alert, you don't see any of that in this. Always some subtle choice of words that made me feel like I was a burden for one. You know, here's the thing I do hate. When people ascribe intent to your words without evidence to it and put the onus on how your words hurt them onto you for intent without any evidence for it. That bothers the living daylights out of me. You made me feel this way. Like, if I say the sky is blue, I'm sorry if you think it's green and that hurts your feelings. That wasn't really my fault. Also, truly, why would you say that? It's cursed. Feel like he didn't matter or wasn't a priority. Oh, are you kidding me?
Jesus Christ, Julie. Go ahead, Leo. I just saw what Julie said.
Right? Always some subtle choice of words that made me feel like I was a burden for wanting space, wanting to heal, needing patience. None of that is shown in these screenshots.
Oh, God.
This is just gonna drag on.
Because I showed this to a lot of people. Because I was like, am I tripping? Like, is there something here that I'm not seeing? And everyone was like, no, this is bullshit. So I'm not crazy. Like, this is so fucking stupid.
Also, like, here he says, he even began to admit that my situation made him mad, that he had to actively try not to resent me for struggling. Here's the DM that, quote-unquote, proves that. Shiloh says, yeah, spacing out each word, because you gotta be dramatic with Shiloh. I'm sorry. Weeba says, I accept your apology, hon. We don't even know what's being apologized for, right? I know you love me, and none of this is on purpose. It just sucks to deal with. I know you're trying to make things better. That's really what helps me quell my anger. If you weren't doing anything to fix it, then we would be having a much different conversation. Do you remember what this was specifically about, Weebus?
I'm trying to remember.
Did they cancel on you again?
It might have been either them canceling on me, or it must have just been, like, us not being able to, they were probably just ignoring me for, like, a week or some shit. And I got, annoyed and was like, hey, can we talk? Because, like, you kind of just disappear, and, like, I'd like to be, like, can you at least tell me you're doing okay? Because it's not like, the problem is, I could understand if they were busy or had a job, but they literally were on their fucking computer all day. So I know they saw those messages. Like, there's no way they didn't. I just, God, I'm sorry. I'm just so fucking pissed at this bitch so much.
But I'm busy.
Yes, you are.
Busy.
Never
Shush.
stops. No, all of this is just that.
Every time.
It's Weebus is at fault for how I feel, and I'm projecting malice onto him that I have no actual evidence for. I hate it here, I hate it here, I hate it here.
I'm still just baffled that they even came to me about it. Like, and the only reason why I said, yeah, go for it, make a doc, because one, and I even told him, I was like, first and foremost, I don't know it's your government name here. And second of all, I don't know anything about this situation. Get a second or third opinion, because I thought that Lio and Patch were still on speaking terms. Apparently they weren't.
Yeah, Patch only came to me when they wanted to yell at me for something or because they needed something. And we'll get into that, trust me.
Yep, same here. Same here. Yeah, they did that with me too. But yeah, I don't know why they trusted me with that information, and I'm just I don't know. I wouldn't say necessarily I'm a victim of Patch, because that's stupid. But like, it's just, why would you come to me even whenever I admitted to you that I know nothing of this information? I really just said, yeah, sure, go for it, just to get you off my back.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, I think I've had about enough of this goofy little doc. Let's see if there's anything in here that's actually important. Because what really bothers me about this, what actually bothers me, is trying to paint...
Other than everything?
Other than the everything, is trying to paint an individual who didn't even have a platform to defend themselves publicly as a bad person for, I guess, not catering to them enough and projecting values onto them they never stated. And here's what I know that I wasn't a good boyfriend either. Okay? I should have ended things sooner. Both are your problems. I should have held my ground. I shouldn't have acted out of fear. Fear of what? I should have left him the minute I knew I wasn't what he wanted me to be anymore, which is not what any of this says, by the way. That doesn't make any of course, dramatics, this okay. You ruined my ability to trust people. We're going to get into why that's dumb later. I should have never stopped questioning myself, and I have never stopped questioning myself, and if I am worthy of privacy or rest because of what you did. None of this shows him violating their privacy, by the way. And I believe in my heart it was an accident. If you believe it was an accident, why are you framing it as abuse that was done intentionally? That you didn't mean to break me, but you did. Look, I'm not going to sit here and dog on Patch for having a traumatic experience. I will, however, dog on them for putting the onus and problems onto somebody who, based on literally every single screenshot here, didn't do what you're saying they did. Because this is what Patch does, right? Shiloh. This is what Patch does. Every time there is a slight inconvenience or they are troubled by anything, it's immediately call out in Google Doc time, because they never grew up. They never got off the internet. They refused to have a job, even though, fun fact, they could work if they wanted to. I've known too many veterans, I've known too many people with severe debilitating health conditions and whatnot that have worked. Patch could. Patch chooses not to. So, I think we are done with the Google Doc. No more Google Doc.
I do want to point out one other thing. With the privacy thing, that just boggles my mind. Like, by privacy, do they mean like me asking to spend time with them, or like be in contact with them? What do they even mean by that? I don't know what they mean by that.
I don't think Patch knows what they mean by that.
Well, and I think so. When you scroll further down, there's a whole section where Patch talks about the fact that that Patch just goes along with everything and doesn't ever speak up about anything, but turns around and puts it on Beavis to as if to say, well, like, I could have done something, but I chose not to. I could have said something, but I chose not to. And it's like, well, hold on. Is Weebus a bad person because you chose not to say something? Or
Yes.
is Weebus a bad person because he forced you into something? And the trouble is that in this doc, that's not like it's like Patch is writing the fence on this. And so like all these people in here who are currently whining about this doc who don't know this lore and quite frankly don't actually care about the lore when it comes down to this. In the grand scheme of things, thank you, Laya, the grand scheme of things, Weebus has never forced himself or his feelings onto anyone before. And that's the part that we have issue with and why no one gives a shit about how Patch feels. Because Patch has never given a shit about how any of their friends felt when we had issues, and we would tell Patch that we had issues. So we don't actually care how you guys feel. Not a single one of us here. Well, I can't speak for Lio. But myself, Busy, Weebus, we don't care how you guys feel. Because we dealt with Patch personally. We were their friend. And Patch abused that friendship, treated us terribly. Not myself to that same degree, but I don't give a shit how Patch feels.
No, if you actually recall, sorry, go ahead. Whoever's going to talk, then I'll go ahead and tell Monsters what I'm going to.
Oh, hello, it's me, Busy. I was just going to say, I'm not going to divulge what was said to me because I don't feel like doing that on your channel, Lio. But Patch absolutely divulged some deeply traumatic shit to me while I told them beforehand. And Lio, I've had dumb calls with you when I've been wasted before. And I told Patch when they were dumping on me, I said, hold on, wait, I'm really drunk right now. I can't help you right now. And they proceeded to drop some horrific, detailed information on me that I wasn't drunk enough to forget, because I remember. And that leaked out in a different server. Because imagine, parts of that conversation are lost in my brain because I was wasted. And the parts that Patch decided to focus on was they apparently told me that in confidence. So that's on them.
And
that was all.
And that says nothing for the weird, disrespectful paradiagnosing that Patch did to their friends, which was weird.
Yeah. Well,
by the way, I want to point out to someone in chat saying, "Why are you drunk and on call?" First and foremost, Busy is a damn adult. He can drink if he wants to. It's Patch's choice. No,
that was a private DM call.
Yeah, that was a private DM call, and two, he told Patch like a few times that you were drunk. You're not, mentally capable of understanding what the hell's going on or processing it. Right?
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm drunk right now. Like, yeah. And they just kept going in the call. So
yeah.
Respecting boundaries, what's that? Fucking
exactly.
Anyway, go ahead.
Similar to what they did with me. It's like, hey, I don't know enough about the situation. I don't know who this insert legal name here, like, and they still just dumped it on me, and I was like, okay.
Oh, and Patch is really rich, by the way, for the whole, like, I need space nonsense, because that's why mine and Patch's entire friendship devolved, was because Patch refused to give me space when I asked for it, and went around that by going to Lio and badgering Lio about
it. Speaking of you, Mon, I know I've told you before, but Patch would bitch about you so much, like, all the time. Like, it was ridiculous. And they were always like, oh, Mon said, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to mental health, and they always their fucking degree and
yes.
credentials, like what I have doesn't matter. And I was like, well, I mean, they do have
because
credentials. I don't
your
know what you
Googling
want me
doesn't
to
count.
say.
Yeah, your
Yeah, I
Googling
was
doesn't
like,
count.
yeah, I
You're
didn't.
Googleizing.
Exactly. I'm like, I mean, that sucks, I guess. But I don't know what to say. Like, she got her degree, so what do you want me to say to that? I was always like, listen, Mon's my homie. You can complain about her if you want. That's your right. But like, I don't know what you want me to say about it. You know, we're friends, so.
Very similar to how I said, Weebus, I don't like cats, but I'm not going to stop you from dating them.
I wish you did.
I don't control you. I don't control you.
You probably in that instance it probably would have been for the best, but
well, I said directly to you, I do not want to I don't want them to drag you into their bullshit.
Because they will.
And then it happened anyway.
I also want to remind Monstrous. You see, the thing is, the entire way I met Monstrous here is through Patch, actually, because they were dealing with some freak. And
don't remind me.
Yeah, and I came in. The thing is, Patch got absurdly attached to Monstrous. And Monstrous told Patch, back off. I'm not happy with you for something right now, and I want you to leave me alone. Patch could not handle that. Patch regularly violated that boundary.
Well, yeah, that's what that was. They were trying to pseudo-diagnose someone else in the circle, someone else who was incredibly emotionally volatile, and I told, because you know I'm not doing that, and I told Patch that I thought that was an incredibly inappropriate thing for them to do, especially because they didn't know this person in real life, and told them it was inappropriate, and it was obviously a more complicated situation than that. I'm very much watering it down, and yeah, Patch couldn't be bothered to listen to the boundaries that I had set forth, and was badgering you, and apparently was badgering other people. And so I told Patch to fuck off. And then, was it last year when they tried to cozy up to other people during the whole Senate drama fallout thing that we all kind of watched go down?
Yep.
And wrote that whole giant thread about, like, go fuck yourself. Like, you don't get to use me as some fucking example of whatever not. I don't know. I can't remember what they did now, but
True.
Told them to fuck off then too.
And there's more to it than that, but real quick, Skrillex, I will let you one guy me. Do your art. Anyways, real quick, I do want to go ahead and point out here that when it comes to Patch, because what happened between Monstrous and Patch is very indicative of what happens with Patch all the time. You see, the reason why Patch was begging me to get Monstrous in contact with them was because, well, I have abandonment anxiety, and Monstrous not talking to me is making that flare up, so I need to talk to her, putting the onus for their problems onto Monstrous for Monstrous wanting to have boundaries. And that's what caused Monstrous to just completely say, no, I actually don't want to talk to you at all going forward. Because Monstrous was just taking time to cool off, and Patch would not respect that because it inconvenienced Patch. That's what Patch does. And in terms of Patch's values, I want to be very clear here. And the truth of the matter is there's not a human being on this planet that has not been a hypocrite about something, myself included, and so with everybody else here on the call and everybody in the comment section and live chat. Everybody's been a hypocrite at some point. Okay? The difference is what they would do. So, for example, part of my problem, and I probably should have listened to other people, but I am stupid and give people way too much leeway in some cases. Yes, everybody on this stream has currently bullied me for it at some point or another. They will promise that they have done so.
Wow.
Yes, unquestionably. Patch, so here's the thing. Patch would constantly talk about how ableism bad, slurs bad. Patch one time pulled me into a call to berate me for quote-unquote casual ableism because I made a Helen Keller joke. And then went on about how, well, I know you don't want to be friends with me, and, I know we don't talk all that much. Essentially tried to guilt trip me, not just for the Helen Keller joke, but also because I guess I didn't reach out enough, quote unquote. And that is indicative of the idea that I hate them. Now, I want to be clear here. If they didn't like the Rosa call, I get that. I don't either. That was never their main point, right? And the problem is they'd sit there and they'd rage and they would piss and moan about everything concerning ableism. But when they went to talk to Vlad, when they thought they could get some clout by dealing with Vlad, suddenly the slurs weren't a problem. Suddenly, you don't need to get up in the faces of your friends who use slurs and whatnot, or the people you associate who use slurs. That was fine. And I want to be very clear here. Say what you will about some of my past behavior. And this isn't to slight Vlad. He will admit to this. He will say things I would never in my life say. Vlad is 100 times worse than what I have said. We had a call yesterday where Vlad was being unhinged to somebody. He wasn't being serious, but still. And Patch was like, no, this is fine because this gets me attention. And that's what it all comes down to. It all comes down to attention. And yeah, I am trying to figure out when to give people proper leniency and when not to. But Patch was insufferable, and I should not have had them around for as long as I did. Because Patch did several things. Several things that irritate me. Number one, the entire reason why Jordan thought they had DID is because Patch just had to try to sit there and talk about how they must have had this. Patch loved to pseudo-diagnose people. Patch actually had a tirade once against me, or with me, or around me, whatever word you want to use, that I took Monstrous's word on mental health stuff more than theirs when Monstrous completed school and Patch didn't. Patch unironically thought the entire difference was a single piece of paper and nothing else. Like, actually angry. I don't know why you go to Monstrous about this instead of me. Monstrous is a professional in the field. Not just somebody who flunked out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's just the case here. Like, I should have cut Patch years ago. I really should have. But instead, well, now the thing is, Patch is still around. All right? Just because they're not using this screen name doesn't mean they're not around. They now go by the name of Dented Spork on Twitter. Last I heard, this was a year ago, they're still doing work for Manga Common, some sort of artwork. Look, I think that at this point people need to scrutinize the fact that Manga Common was at the FCK. There's no way he didn't see some of that stuff. But at the same time, Patch has a history of making accusations of abuse without actual evidence. So they did it to Weebus, right? And once I get certain things censored out of the Google Doc, I'll post that in the description. Then they did it to me. Because they didn't ask for my opinion. They didn't ask for my side. They didn't ask for any of that. They went by Jordan's word alone, with literally no evidence, and ran with it because they just saw that things were turning, and they wanted a piece of the action. I hope it was worth it for them, because what they did do, and this is what we're about to get into now. So I hope all of you are in the watch together. Last year, during my drama, it ran consecutively with other people's, right? And one of them was the Poppy Xena stuff. Now, Poppy Xena... I'm going to use them like interchangeably because I just don't care, honestly, at this point. They presented themselves as a trans person who was a therapist and all this other stuff, but they were just horrible. Just horrible behind the scenes on a lot of things. Their child produced a Google Doc with credible evidence of abuse. Credible evidence of abuse. Patch was in this person's found family and defended them to the hilt, white-knighted them on everything, and refused to look at the evidence while trying to ride the coaster on mine that had none. Now, I'm going to bully Beckett for being British and in the UK because that's just fair. And because, gender, obviously a problem. But I want everybody to pay attention to how Patch talks in this, because what Patch likes to do is when Patch wants to manipulate you, is they put on a very specific voice, a very sad, I'm very sad type voice, and you can listen to it, and you can start recognizing it. Because what Patch tried to do in this is tried to play Beckett.
Wait, is it the 1 HP voice?
Yes.
I would say it's 1 HP, but it's more like 1 HP with like the sad puppy modifier.
It's the same thing.
Modifier.
They're a theater kid. It's a theater kid voice. That's all it
is.
Hold on now. I'm offended by that. I was a theater kid.
Well, of course you're offended.
So was I, but come on. Like, we all know that's a theater kid voice, Mom. Let's keep it above.
Oh, Monstrous, of course you're offended by it. You live in California. What aren't you offended by?
Did we look at the Hamilton animatic they did?
I will so get copyright struck if I put that out here. I so will.
I have an edited version of that
Yeah,
actually.
Gib.
And Lou gave me an edited one.
Okay, do we? I'll make I'll make it a vote on the chat. Let me go ahead and make a poll here, and we'll decide which one to look at here. Poll. Lou.
The bees might be.
Well, mine has like been specifically edited like to the music.
Well, Lou did a cover specifically for it.
Really?
I don't think I've ever seen Lou's.
So
Hold on, I'll send it. I'll save it and send it to you, Bio.
We of course I won't be able to share it to the chat like I'm in right now, but we have votes on who you want to hear. Do you want to hear Lou's or do you want to hear bees? And we can go from there, because here's the thing that irritates me about that animatic, right? Other than the fact that it's obviously Patch trying to get attention. In that, Patch is essentially saying, I know Jordan better than you do. Patch never lived with Jordan. Patch didn't pay Jordan's bills. Patch didn't take care of Jordan and put a roof over their head. Patch's idea of parenting is occasional pep talks and making them specific food they like. That's not even close to it. Asinine.
Oh, I'll watch that later. I will be making fun of this extensively in the video that I am making. I'm hoping to have it out by Sunday, so keep out for that, I guess.
All right, so it looks like we are going to use...
I'm so excited for that video.
Bees. So,
that's good.
Give me a moment here.
This is just the one that I edited the sound mostly. It's not the one that I spiraled and all that stuff.
That one is so good.
All right, so time to pull this into the screen.
I think your edited one that you posted is good.
Now, you guys won't be able to hear it here in the chat, so give me a minute because I'm going to play it. It's a good 32 seconds or so. So I ask for silence as I give this to my poor chat, who's probably going to hate me after this, but continuing. That is Patch's vent on me. Because obviously I'm the bad guy when Patch has no data on any of this.
God, that is so fucking funny. It's honestly the best thing they've ever made.
It's my favorite video of all time. I post it everywhere.
Oh, God.
They really do. Like, all the time. It's that good.
Actually, the one thing that bothers me, the one and only thing that bothers me about that animatic is that it's not even an animatic. It's literally just a glorified storyboard.
Well, there are some animatics that are kind of like that. It all varies.
Yeah.
It all varies from production to production. Do not question the animation autism. It will overcome you.
Animation autism. Jesus Christ.
I know. I'm just saying, like, where's the animation though?
But Lio, are you satisfied? They sure hope you're satisfied.
I am never satisfied. It's why I keep buying robots. And yes, I have been fiddling with one on stream. I apologize for nothing.
That is your stim toy.
It's not a stim toy. I just like to clickety clickety click click click.
That's the autism talking.
Hush.
Bro, right?
Right. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this stream.
Let's see the thing so I can go to bed soon.
No bed for you.
Free.
All right. So come on. Guess Beck is just staring at the screen. Like, the audio is on us, right? Hold on, what's going on here? Oh, it's muted. Why is it muted?
Friendly some of this. I'm gonna make an. I'll start fucking cool. We're good. Lily Orchard.
Ew.
Incredibly gross shit that you are dealing with mentally. So I have approached this situation with everyone has done something fucky. Everyone here is sick and needs help. It should not have gone onto the internet. Everyone should be in therapy. And I see
Oh
that
my
as
fucking
some-
god! The irony of this bitch saying that.
Even though, let's go ahead and make sure I know what we're talking about here, because I think we mixed the context. So let's go ahead and go back a bit.
In the drama with Z and Poppy are, including Z and Poppy themselves, are either neurodivergent, have a cluster B disorder, are in the process of getting a diagnosis for one of the two, or some combination of fuckery. So everyone here is dealing with, in the drama with Z and Poppy, are, including Z and Poppy themselves, are either neurodivergent, have a cluster B disorder, are in the process of getting a diagnosis for one of the two, or some combination of fuckery. So everyone here is dealing with complex brain weasels that affect behavior, personality, and how people process information.
Cool.
And there are some people who will say that those diagnoses are irrelevant because toxicity is something you choose to do. And you will remember this from the statement that I put out on Twitter, I believe that it is possible for people to accidentally be shitty. That sometimes you stumble into unhealthy, toxic, vile behavior because it's either something you learned or because you don't have coping mechanisms for incredibly gross shit.
Oh, is that so? Is that so,
I
Shiloh?
have approached the situation with everyone has done something fucky.
Is that how that
Everyone here
works?
is sick and needs help. It should not have gone onto the internet. Everyone should be in therapy.
Okay, so
I want to punch this bitch in the face.
Stream
Oh my
died.
god.
so
Go ahead, Lyle.
for Poppy and Xena, who apparently abused their actual bio kid, like abused, that shouldn't be online. But allegedly, me upsetting Jordan emotionally, which was the claim that I emotionally abused them, verbally abused them by telling them to get a job, I guess. That needed to be online, according to Patch. Amazingly consistent behavior.
And I say that as someone who is very close with Z and Poppy, who considers them...
Wait, hold on. You're saying they were an adopted kid? Like, they went to an agency and adopted the child at like 4... Oh my god, that's worse. That's not worse. That's the same.
No, that's wrong.
Tell me what's right then. Read.
Spawn. I'm getting there. Spawn is Poppy's biological kid. The bio mother of that kid, unfortunately passed away. So I guess Xena technically just by proxy adopted Spawn, but Poppy is the bio parent of Spawn. That's how I understood it, at least.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Either way, that's awful.
Very dear loved ones, and basically as close as family, as cringe and fucking gross as you might think that is, that everyone needs to be in much more intensive counseling. Noah, Adrian, Z, Pop, everyone needs to be working on themselves constantly. But that's something I feel about everyone in general.
Okay.
Oh, yeah? Is that how you feel?
That ramble is...
Yeah, that's fine. What I'd say is let's just break this down, by everyone, myself included, to make sure we're on the same page. So you mentioned Noah, Z, and Adrian, and obviously Xena and Poppy. Let's just go one at a time. Noah, tell us who they are.
Noah is a former romantic partner of Poppy's. Two of them had a very imbalanced relationship that they did not communicate effectively.
Yeah, you know all about that, wouldn't you? Fucking
and
bitch.
Noah is prone to people-pleasing and concealing things.
For the record, you guys can pause it if you want to.
Make other people comfortable.
Okay.
Which is neither of these make for a healthy relationship.
I agree, that's fine. We'll get to some of the stuff around that. Adrian?
Adrian is a former ward of Poppy, who no longer lives with them. Not exactly a runaway, but moved out because Adrian is an adult.
What would you know about
Adrian
balance?
Whose social worker worked directly with Poppy after she gained custody of Adrian to build accommodation systems for them. But again, compatibility issues led to a toxic environment, just like with Noah.
Okay, and Z?
And Z is Poppy's current life partner.
Okay.
They're nested in polyamory terms. Z is her nesting partner.
Which one's the actual child?
The fuck does that mean?
That is Adrian.
Okay, because
that Poppy adopted.
A former ward, Mon.
Okay, so I have to ask because we have some poly people in the call. Is nesting a poly term?
I've never heard of that.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that polycules are birds.
Yes.
That's what I was just gonna ask. I now identify as a bearded vulture. Thank you.
Oh yeah, not birds. Oh, hi, Drunk.
Take it back.
We're all birds.
Who sits on the egg, or do you all just rotate?
Me. It's me. It's all me.
Okay. Want to know.
I am the egg sitter and the nest bearer. It is my job.
The nest bearer. Who's the
Correct.
nest maker?
That is all of my other partners.
Oh,
Well,
they all gather the twigs.
Well, we already know what type of bird that Weebus is, and he's obviously a raven.
Wow. I thought I was the penguin, obviously. Come on.
Oh my god, you are...
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Alright.
Wait.
He's gonna bring the prettiest pebble.
Goes back. He's gonna yell at
my
me.
god, I wanna die.
Killing ashes on the bed.
Oh.
To hidden heroin, to answer the question, yes, the nesting partner is the one that they live with, or yeah, like how Busy is with Druckle.
Okay,
Yes.
so I don't know what bird
the one
it is.
who gathers the pebbles.
I don't know what bird
Yes.
it is, but there's that one
Give
bird.
all the pebbles to me.
True. There's that one bird that like they dance by like flipping their wings in front of their faces and hopping back and forth. Is that how you get into a polycule?
Really cool. I do love those.
That's 100 birds.
Either way, it's proven correct. All right, let's continue.
And that was from the age of like 4, right?
Weebus dab
don't
for me.
think so.
Oh my god.
I came
Or
into
like-
their lives long after.
Yeah, much later. But we are talking about like not like Lio taking in 18 to 20-year-olds. As far as I'm aware, Adrian was a lot younger when they
Adrian was an actual minor when Pop
Next time I'm taking in 50-year-olds.
gained custody over him, as far as I'm aware.
Lamau.
God.
So, and let's be clear of what this relationship looks like, because I know that people can have toxic backgrounds and things, but let's be really clear about the actions taken here of like kind of serious manipulation. What seems like a very abusive place, because again, otherwise we end up in the position of going, what? Well, it's fine if somebody was taking these actions because they were groomed. It's like these are people who are adults. Poppy and Xena are not children.
No,
they're adults.
I am well aware, but I also am aware of some details that Adrian did not include in his statement about the household that he lived in with Z and Poppy. Specifically that a lot of the things involving not being allowed in the kitchen or not being...
Oh, now details matter. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. All right.
Sure.
Sweet.
In the bathroom, having things scheduled, was coordinated with their social worker as accommodations for a series of mental health issues that Adrian had, specifically autism and ADHD. The scheduling for the bathrooms was so that the pipes in the walls wouldn't be picked up on Poppy's microphone while she was on calls with patients. The kitchen thing was scheduled times for when people could cook in order to make sure that the kitchen didn't get overcrowded and people didn't...
Wait, what the fuck? What?
If the
was so that the pipes wouldn't get picked up on the mic. Why wouldn't you just buy
insulation
noise
foam
dampen, like those little cells?
Yeah,
like
insulation
they have
foam.
those little like.
Or
What the fuck?
Or alternatively, you
Surely
could
that's not serious.
you could I don't know secure the pipes.
Too much work.
Okay, that is fair.
What the fuck?
Actually, I want to know. I just want to know, why does Poppy work from home though?
Well, I
Wouldn't
mean,
it be better to be on location?
Well, I mean, there's plenty of people who are like therapists or NPs who do therapy from a home setting, like a home office. That's not even the problem. I'm just confused as to why that is the accommodation, but not acoustic dampeners. You can buy acoustic dampeners for cheap off of Amazon. In fact, I don't even think you need acoustic dampeners. Just get some fucking yoga mats and put them on your wall. It's the same thing.
Adrian frequently wanted to eat separately or eat different food from Poppy and Z, despite the fact that Poppy and Z would offer to cook for Adrian. But these things do not justify a lot of the manipulative and emotionally unavailable behaviors that Poppy has been accused of, and that I am still learning a lot about. I went through some of the screenshots for the first time.
And of course, the main thing on Patch's mind is emotional distance, as opposed to, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be that guy just for a minute. Physical limitations, in a lot of ways, can kind of outweigh the mental ones and the emotional ones. Like, if you have to have scheduled bathroom times, I'm sorry, most human beings can't really operate like that. It's one reason why schools keep getting in trouble for kids pissing themselves, because, congratulations, you can't put people's bodies on a timer. Like, that is, I'm sorry, that is just absolutely abhorrent. But this is Patch we're talking about. Their priorities are never straight.
Today, it's a bit shocking to me. Seeing some of the things that I have has given me some perspective, and though I do still love and care for Poppy and Zane very much.
See, there's that voice.
Conversation with them about what I've learned after this stream.
Okay. So I think one of the cool parts.
A conversation, as if Patch is somehow like reprimanding small children that shouldn't be left in their care. What the fuck do you... What the fuck is a conversation gonna do to grown-ass adults? Sorry, Dad, Mom, our bad. We won't abuse our child again.
So, and on top of that, where was my conversation?
Oh, you don't get one.
Where was Weebus's
That is
conversation?
You're a man. Because you're a
You're a
man.
Because you both are men.
Well, gonna go ahead and join the MRA.
They're doubling down on this.
would
They
never.
seem to be. Am I right in thinking they're threatening to take their kid to court?
Yes, that is something that Poppy and Z have discussed. I do see you in the chat, Deep Sea Monster. I did not know that Spawn has requested his name not be public. I wasn't aware of that. Thank you for making me aware of that. You did not have to be so hostile when you did
Good job,
it.
Patch.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I think
nonetheless.
so. I think.
Oh, boo-hoo!
Bitch.
Ah! Also, to Chuli in the chat. Right? Oh my god, that is so true. To Chuli, where was Lyle Convoy on January 6th? I was in Houston, but I will say, Sky, a member of our little goof troop, I suppose, in Guac Barrel, one time found like a Goof Troop was a good show. Found like a white nationalist protester weirdo who, for some reason, I still don't know why, had a Thundercat shirt on and put it out there saying, "Why was Lyle Convoy at this white nationalist rally?" During the people digging for as much as they could on me, we were fully expecting them to find that, and they never did. That would have been hilarious.
If only.
Right?
Classic Sky, honestly.
That was good. Hi, Sky. Glad to see you in chat. All right, let's continue.
Part of it's going to be like I can feel people's frustration with this one, especially after the Leo and Peaches stuff, where the stuff here is I'm going to be honest with you, and look, we're going to get to the Courtney and Lily Orchard stuff, but objectively worse. And there are also things that have gone on this in Xena and Poppy's Discord with minors being around. At least it's the accusation I've heard, where full-on not safe for work stuff is posted. It's requested to be removed. This was in an interview with somebody who's another leftist on Chud's stream. They're like, can we take this down? There are minors here, and Xena are probably like, no, it's art. So there's clearly other stuff here. I think also the question is like bringing into this found family stuff. We've just seen this shit unfold with Senate, so I think from a lot of people's perspective, it's kind of wild to see you run the defense you did, right off the bat of that other shit happening.
A lot of
Here we go.
defensiveness comes from the fact that I'm very close with them and I'm trying to approach this in good faith. But the more I'm finding out, the harder that is to do, because I'm very close with them, and much like a lot of people that are very close with Thomas,
Ooh,
I struggle to.
My name
This
is
voice makes me
Ebony.
want to die.
My name is Ebony Darkness Dementia.
Oh my god, no!
Oh my fucking god, mine! Ah!
There's no. To all you glamours.
Alright, sorry.
They're so fucking dramatic.
Oh my god, Chuli!
Hey Mon. Hey Mon.
What?
What if we kissed on Gaia online?
I fucking hate you.
I hate it here.
Can I get a new was it Lazy and Bungle, please?
Oh my god, I miss
Hell
Lazy
yeah,
and
let's
Bungle.
go Lazy and Bungle.
The Bebop and Rocksteady of their time.
Drunkle from across the room, by the way, shouted, "Hell yeah!"
All right, so let's.
All right, go ahead.
The thing is, like,
God.
and again, sorry, go ahead, B.
The thing is, I know Patch has like been trying to get into voice acting, and yet they pulled this shit out of their ass. It's like, dude, you're not convincing at all whatsoever.
Well, the thing is, like, the problem with my found family was not, all the things that Patch is going on about, is the fact that I was a sucker and took care of people who were obviously malicious and manipulative. Like, good God.
Malignant.
Malignant, that works too.
True. I love how Eve basically just told Shiloh to put the fries in the bag.
Yes.
Pretty funny.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
I mean, that would be a job, so they should do that.
And
But,
yes,
you know.
Danger, Double D. We did know about Patch having an OnlyFans, isn't that right, Weebus?
Yeah.
We love you, Weebus.
wanna
We're just
die.
teasing you.
Will this affect the Neopets economy? I want all these people banned.
Well, right now I have people.
Bionet.
Right now I have Gigi discussing how Goofy is like a DILF, so I think we should just continue.
God.
I was
What about
hoping
Dills?
to come on here specifically to talk about the Lily stuff, because that was what my friends were worried about, that conversation would be happening without me. I was not prepared to have this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, having you over Xena and Poppy was a bit of a giveaway, but I understand that, like, sometimes my thumbnails can be esoteric. I think
No,
it's...
The truth is, I don't know a lot of the full details of the docs because a lot of the people who were sending me the docs were also treating me with some incredible cruelty, and because I am a human being capable of bias, I didn't listen to them because I didn't like the way they were treating me.
Oh my god, no way!
Mm.
Oh my god, no way!
No, you see,
No
this
way, no way!
No, you see, this is actually where Patch is going on about how, well, they didn't listen to Lio's specific detractors. The majority of the people they cite are actually just unhinged. What they're trying to do is they're trying to cozy up to the people they think will get them attention, because that's how Patch survives online, is through attention. So this is where they start doing the, I'm only human. I should have listened to them about Thomas. Wait, you're gonna hear it. I promise it's gonna be amazing.
Sky found the picture, by the way. I just want to
Yeah,
let you know.
Lamau.
All right, let me go grab it. And put it on screen real quick.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Hilarious.
Open image in new tab. Bring it over.
I'm dying. What image are we talking about?
You're gonna find out.
Community watch. Evil white supremacists into your fandom. Lio Conroy's reviews. It's a Thundercat YouTuber who's recently been exposed by Community Watch for being a white nationalist. Alert community figureheads. Satire, not actually Lio.
Based. This guy's a fucking riot, man. This guy's a riot.
Oh.
I love Sky. She's great.
God, no.
All right.
I'm that photo gave me psychic damage. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Also, I will say, since the chat's still going on about it, Peg Pete's the best. Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, to Maya, who was in this chat earlier before when they were trying to warn me about Thomas.
See?
I mean, I haven't gone through. I haven't gone through all the Courtney Orchard stuff related to them, but apparently that wasn't exactly particularly good. Apparently, from what I've heard, they sent, and I can be corrected in chat if I'm wrong, and we'll go through some of it. But they were not good with Courtney either. And I think somebody said that they sent pornography to Courtney after their interview. And there's accusations of trying to pull Courtney into this weird fucking thing, which considering what Courtney Orchard has been through with Lily is a bit fucking wild.
From what I know, Courtney and Poppy were actively flirting with one another. Things escalated faster than Courtney was ready for. It led to a massive fallout between the two of them. I'll admit, a lot of all of this can be resolved with better communication, because that's my
Oh,
go off.
Ooh, better communication, Patch. Better communication. All this could have been resolved with better communication. I'm gonna fucking crash out. I can't. I forgot how fucking pissed off I got at this. Oh my god.
Reasonable.
Ugh.
Poppy sent furry incest.
Yeah.
Were you gonna
Courtney.
say Mon?
Why?
Yeah, they did. Poppy has this weird fetish when it comes to incest, and they're pro that stupid fucking game. That I can't think of the name right now, but it involves twins and cannibalism.
Oh, that fucking game. Oh
yeah,
god.
they promote it as this
Oregon Trail.
Oh, it's a good. No.
The Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Leo.
Coffin and Lele, yeah.
Yeah, that fucking incest game for the gooners.
I'm so pissed off because the art actually looks really cute, and when I found out what it was about, I was like, no. Anyway, but they have this really weird obsession with incest. It's like how Lily Orchard obsesses about incest. Gee, I wonder why, especially what they did to Courtney.
I'm getting to the point to where I'm starting to believe every person who absurdly obsesses over Lily is just exactly like them in Troll Shielding.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke about how Patch knows all about getting with an orchard. So.
Oh.
I mean, they got really mad at my response video when I pointed out that you can't be coerced into an affair. That's a choice you make, a cognitive choice you make. But the problem with Patch is, of course, nothing can ever actually be their fault. They're just a victim in everything.
Yep.
Victim of being a dumbass.
True. Continuing.
I actually might disagree with you here. I think from what I'm seeing from Xena and Poppy, I don't think this is a communication thing. I think that there are massive control issues from Xena and Poppy. I feel like anybody who gets on the bad side of them, is accused of being a part of a hate mob or trying to farm them, gets slandered publicly, disconnected. I mean, another comment was, you should look into the DMs of Noah and how Poppy and Xena pressured her for sex and called her a rapist for dumping Poppy. You're defending someone who is worse than liar. And I do know this bit. She basically said that she retracted consent after the fact, and that's what made Noah a rapist. I mean, this is kind of fucking wild, no?
When it's relayed to me this way, it is. Because, would you like to know the way it was framed to me?
Sure.
The way it was framed to me was that Noah had coerced consent to Poppy via disinformation, specifically not disclosing the true intentions of the sex that they were going to have, and therefore nullified informed consent.
Okay,
I'm a believer in the Fry's model.
So,
I believe that. Go ahead.
So, you're gonna have to expand on how that was miscommunicated, because I think that's a little bit fucking wild. I think it's kind of fucking wild because we're talking about a polyamorous grouping with a sex-positive community where sexual stuff is posted constantly from what I can see. And I'm not sure what framing could have been there or could have been incorrectly given, that therefore it violates consent.
Are you familiar with the Fry's model of consent?
No.
It's a thing that was invented by the Educational Department of Planned Parenthood.
That was invented by a French fry.
Given, reciprocal, informed, enthusiastic, and sober.
Oh my god.
It's a set of 5 rules to make sure.
I am actually familiar. A whole drama happened over that like a few months ago. But go on. Yeah. So which part of that was violated?
With the way that Poppy explained it to me, and the way it was framed to me when this incident was explained, was the informed. That because Noah lied about still wanting to be with Poppy, that means that the sex was had under false pretenses.
I'm okay. So the last time this fucking happened, somebody sat down.
That's not how that works.
What?
That's not how that works.
That, like, you could argue it's a dick move, but to say that it's violating consent? What the fuck are we talking about? What?
Actually,
oh my god.
I mean, Monstrous violates my consent all the time.
Actually,
for you.
I'm gonna go ahead and just counterpoint that with the fact that Poppy could not take no for a fucking answer. I'm gonna be linking the video or the stream in my video that's coming out soon. That Noah was basically being like, look, this relationship's not gonna work. You know, I can't be with you or whatever, or don't come visit me or. And all that, like, because Poppy literally just fucking like invited themselves to go visit Noah, and yeah, that was weird. And the whole like sexual thing that happened between them, I'd argue that Poppy was the one that initiated it, despite Noah not even really being all there. Like they were just like letting it happen, if that makes sense. I'm getting this information from an interview that Noah did. So, yeah, this whole like, oh, it wasn't consensual. I was like, I'd argue it wasn't consensual from Noah's side, but yeah.
I hate these people, man. Like,
I know.
Oh my god.
Well, that's it. Just like this logic doesn't make any sense. Like, I no longer want to be with you. Therefore, the sex is no longer consensual. What does that even mean? Like, so in order to be able to have sex with somebody, you have to want to be in a relationship with them, or the sex is only consensual because you're in a relationship with them. That's not.
Because I think what they're saying is, Noah said they would, or Noel, or whatever their name is, said that, we'd be together, and then, we banged, and then they changed their mind, which, I don't know, like, you assuming it's under false pretenses, and maybe, like, they had sex with you, and they were like, oh god, what have I done, and decided to, end things, is really weird, like, as if a person can't change their mind. Like, what the fuck?
Maybe the digging down was just really that bad.
Is this what we call regretting our actions?
Oh my goodness.
But the only thing I will say is the fucking the text I've seen between Noah and
Poppy are fucking embarrassing as someone who also has BPD, and freaking Poppy's always been like, oh, well, I have BPD, this is how I act. I'm like, you're an embarrassment, please shut up. Go away. So, yeah, that's
You can't sit with us!
You can't sit with us. Anyway, I linked the interview I was talking about in the chat if people want to check it out. So, but anyway, keep going. I'm ready to go to bed.
All right, let's keep up.
Down and argued about the word enthusiastic for 3 fucking hours, and I refuse to do that.
No, I'm not going to.
Oh no, I know. I'm just pointing out for those Twitch poll watchers who are familiar with that drama, we're not doing that. But what I will say is this: from the informed stage, like we can really nitpick at language, but like. If the argument was this, that Poppy only had sex with her because they believed that it was a continual relationship thing, I think that is such a wild thing to then pin somebody as a rapist for. It's kind of fucking absurd. And again, it's cope. I don't think we'd accept that in any other circumstance. You can't be like, well, actually they wanted to break up with me afterwards. They're just being nice. And like, it's not like Poppy isn't forthcoming about kind of her own sexual stuff. It sounds like, again.
Well, unfortunately, that is fair. I'm not disagreeing that in retrospect this was kind of bad.
Okay.
They did really bad. I'm not arguing that.
Okay.
I'm explaining why I, in good faith, believed her when she said that to me, because she and I were very close.
Let's expand upon that. I think that's fine. Listen, if you're looking at this now and going, I didn't have all the facts, maybe should have jumped in the way I did. That's fine. But let's.
No, that is the truth.
Yeah, no. Listen, that's fine. I'm happy to move on. I'm not going to pin you for the next fucking half an hour to make sure. That's fine, Patch. Let's talk about the family dynamic, because I think this is actually a really interesting insight. Can you explain to me the circumstances leading up to and joining that community and how that relationship developed? Because I'm assuming this was post-Lily.
This was post-Lily, years after Lily. I was introduced to Poppy through her and C going through a bunch of Lily's more toxic content, not to use the buzzword again.
Sigh.
Sure, Lily's piece of shit. You're going to get no disagreement. Like, it's true.
And Poppy was the first one to actually platform me about what happened between Lily and I. She started out as a mentor, someone who I came to for advice and who frequently consoled me when Lily would come back to harass me yet again and again and again and again. She likes a punching bag, and I'm fat, so I'm real good for throwing punches at. And
also, that's actually incorrect, because technically Opal platformed Shiloh before Poppy and Xena did. So,
And
this is true.
I became very close with Poppy and Z because of the support that they gave me. And one day I was venting to Poppy about my home life. I've been open about this both on my channel and on my socials, so I'm not ashamed to say it here. My parents fucking suck. And I was venting to her because she was my friend, and she made a passing joke about, well, if your mom sucks, then I'm your mom now. I'll be your mom. I'll play.
That's weird.
And it started out as a gag. That I would call her mama as a joke, and she would call me son affectionately.
It's a joke, guys.
It's okay. I will.
Joke. It's a joke.
I will take the spot of the father. Now go do the lawn. That's how this works. I require the yard to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Go pick up the sticks.
Yeah, that's how Yeah, that's totally how I adopted Nora, by the way. No, that's not how
I'm not adopting people. Get the fuck out of here.
It's all right, monstrous.
I'm never taking applications.
One day somebody will adopt you. I promise.
Nope. Nope. I'm good. Nope.
I'm adopting you, monstrous. Even though you're
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Wait, hold on, Mon. I'm older than you. I'm adopting you now.
You know what? I'm gonna be in my Debbie Jelinski era. Thank you.
I don't know what that means, but I'm glad. Moving on.
Didn't she?
Oh my
didn't
God.
she kill her parents or something?
Mom, I'm a dad.
She kills her husbands.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Hold on.
ahead.
Sky says, I'll never get over Poppy for going to Opal to try to convince her how bad me and my then GF are over liking a post of someone pew-pewing a pedo over a teenage girl. Well, Opal seems to have shifted their opinion on that anyway, so that still sucks.
Wait, what?
Wait, Lio.
Yes?
Did you talk about the Hitler post?
Oh.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
I forgot about that.
But that is funny.
Yeah. It is so funny.
I'll do a censored version of it because no one here likes the no words. Basically, Opal called Hitler the R word, and Patch was like, Opal, you shouldn't say that. And Opal was like, why? It's Hitler. It's like, that doesn't matter.
But it's Hitler.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's
that
the
was
thing.
funny.
It's like listen. For as much of a degen and weirdos Opal turned out to be, that was really funny.
That was low key based. But
God.
still, it's just Jesus Christ.
All right, so continue. Let's get through this.
Joke, you know when you start doing something ironically and eventually it becomes very serious? It was that, and I became genuinely attached to her and Z and the support that they gave me and the compassion that they showed. And that they still show. And that's part of what makes this all so hard to see
They gave you attention, and you're addicted to it. Yes, we know.
through. I had the same problem with Thomas. I had the same issue
You did?
About me that way.
You did? You had the same problem with me? What?
with Leo. Everyone sees the video I put out, immediately condemning him. No one sees how long it took for me to come to terms with the fact that he was an abuser.
Oh my the fucking Disney voice. Oh my god. No one sees my struggle.
See?
I live in Oregon and nobody sees me.
I had to come to terms with the fact that he's an abuser with the zero evidence I had and the nothing to go off of. They saw a money train and they were hoping to follow it, and literally nobody let them on it. That's all that came down to.
Choo choo.
Also,
It's the anime crying voice for me.
It is, and the thing is, like, by 2024, like, Patch and I were not at all close. The only time Patch ever showed up in my DMs was when they wanted something, which is kind of the entire point to everything they do. Because we'll get into a little bit of that here when we close out the Patchwork section. Let's continue.
The testimony Jay put out came out 2 weeks before I condemned Thomas.
Yeah, and I'm going to go out and be blunt. Anybody who actually took Jay's quote-unquote testimony seriously, there's something actually wrong with you. You have severe cognitive functions. Because if you can sit there and listen to somebody couch the idea of me being concerned with their health and asking them not to smoke in my home as abuse, you're actually just an idiot.
Yeah, I think this is.
It takes time to come to grips with that.
Yeah, of course, and these are.
I'm a victim.
The reason I'm asking you about it is not to sort of pin you here. It is because from what I can read from the Poppy and Xena stuff, and one of the main accusations I've heard is that there is a use of psychological techniques that they are aware of to essentially mentally fuck people and take vulnerable people and move them into a position where they are easily manipulated. I know that you've given the examples with Spawn, where it's like, well, this is the reason this happened, and this is the reason it went the way it did, yada yada. But the brute fact is that those sound like incredibly abusive and controlling situations to put somebody in where they're not free in their own home. They're not free to move around and do as they please. Now, you can say, oh, well, it's because of they needed clearance for the call and everything. I don't accept that as not from you, but just as a reason, because you're talking about a human being. It's their home. Whether people are working or whatever. Like, again, I was sat in meetings and people would interrupt me. I have colleagues sat in meetings with me where people will interrupt me or a cat will jump up onto the desk. We sort of accept these things as normal. But the argument of, well, my job is more important than your basic functions. It's more important for us to get the food done as adults, and you can wait your fucking turn. I think we'd accept that as actually incredibly fucked up. And the worry that, I don't say worry. I think like the weirdness of all this, and again, the same is true of Leo, is we're talking about people who are probably not anybody who should be in any sort of authority or parental role, basically taking vulnerable people and putting them there. It's fucking bizarro world.
I will admit it's not what I do with my daughter. It's not what I do with my daughter, Forrest.
Oh my fucking god.
But it is. It is exactly what Patch does. In fact, Patch is worse about it, because Patch doesn't actually do anything for them. Like, at all. Like, the entire... I'm just going to go ahead and be a little cruel here for a minute, because I think I've earned at least a little bit of that. Here's the thing. Patch took a serious situation in terms of their quote-unquote kid, moving them in with a freak like Blake Diamond, where Patch starts talking about how Blake's threatening to sexually... traffic them and all this. Patch took that and turned it into an absurdist drama where I unironically had to see a Google Doc of somebody talking down to Blake, talking about how they have fought Space Hitler. I'm sorry, it is the most unserious thing in the world.
That, yeah.
It is ridiculous. Pat's talking about any of this like they have any authority on anything other than how to be a leech is absolutely asinine, and I really hate it.
So Drunkle remembers the call.
Yes, because I asked you for it. And the In fact, I think it was Busy that gave it to me, because here's the thing. People were sitting there complaining about, Busy being drunk or whatever. Busy has the wherewithal to not give things out when they are drunk, because when I initially asked for it, they had imbibed a bit, and they're like, hold on. I'll talk to you tomorrow about it. I'm drunk.
Am I the only one that hasn't been around Busy when he's drunk?
Well, I mean, I just messaged them. I don't think I've ever been in a call with them while they were drunk. But yeah, Patch just mooches off of people. Patch cannot deal with anything in the actual serious way it should be. Patch is just used for things being handled for them because they're just lazy. Anyways, continue.
And some people in the chat are confused about Space Hitler. Apparently, it's some Homestuck character. I don't fucking know.
The TLDR is Patch got one of their.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is this another DID thing?
Yes. They said it was a fictive interject or whatever the fuck.
Yes, so that's a DID thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember their Grunkle Stan account?
I do. I remember when it followed me on Twitter. I'm like, please don't.
I remember that. Yeah.
And look, I'm not going to mock people who have DID. I know so little about it. I think it would be rash for me to do so, and as a whole. But please don't do that to me. I don't need that in my life. Please don't. That makes me severely uncomfortable. But let's continue.
Her own bathroom on the other side of the house, right next to her room. She has full reign of the kitchen whenever she wants it. Not that she likes to cook. I actively invite her to join meals. I keep her, like I said in my video, Condemning Thomas, I keep her safe foods on hand so that I can make them for her when she doesn't have the energy to cook, because I know she'll forget to eat.
Oh god, I remember freaking out about this.
That's not how I raised my kid. I wanted so badly to believe.
What raising?
All of this was rooted in miscommunication,
What raising?
And just anger. But the more I think about it, and the more you and people in Endless server.
Oh my god, the fucking tone change that they did. Like, it's a fucking soliloquy and a Shakespearean play. Oh my god.
Well, yes. And the people they're listing off is amazing. Like, was it Inla? Sorry, yeah, Inla, the person the person who withheld the fact that Nerf wanted to get together with a 12-year-old for months. The person whose entire interaction with me in my space is because they were mad that some Undertale creators they liked were getting called out for being creeps to kids. That Inla, yes, you have to listen to that weird little freak. Congratulations, Patch. You're very brave and smart. This totally isn't an attempt to get attention.
Alas, poor no word. I knew you well.
Yeah, I know.
This is incredibly toxic, and she should know better.
Yeah,
because if her own son can do a better job parenting, then she needs to work on herself.
Well, I think it's the fact that Spawn is clearly treated very, very poorly. I mean, I know there's been lots of conversations about how Jordan, Jay, and Opal thought. I've made my position on Peach's claims of abuse very fucking clear. I don't believe a fucking word of it. But for the others, I think I have far more questions there about what they actually went through. But that's, again, I don't think anything in comparison to what I'm hearing Spawn went through. And the fact that there are multiple logs picking this apart from people coming out the woodwork, whether they be
for the record, what they went through was Jordan, get a job and pay rent. Opal, maybe you shouldn't be around scoundrels. And Jay, you're a liar. And Jay's actually, I think out of all of them, honestly, with the exception of Opal's apologia for freaks, Jay is just a dangerous human being. Jay is a manipulative freak. I'm not going to get into details. It's not my place to do it for specific things, but Jay is a serial abuser, a serial manipulator. So, yeah.
Mods, whether they be people who were community members, ex-partners, and Poppy and Xena are just doubling down. Now, there's another thing here. So there is another connection which I'm going to keep a bit close to my chest for the moment. But there are accusations that the people with Poppy and Xena have included toxic or weird people into their communities, and this blew up very quietly a few months ago. Now, I don't know whether you saw much of that. I didn't see it spill out much. But it's kind of interesting now that it seems to have had a domino effect, because Poppy and Xena were really struggling to keep the community around them, or at least their other streamer friends, right up until recently.
Yeah, I actually feel like it started around the time she started going after Lily.
Well, how long ago was that?
A couple years, when I first came into her life.
Do you think that there's something here with that community that is has been an underlying problem. I mean, it seems quite insular. I mean, this happened to a lot of leftist Twitch pod creators. There's like several people who basically have a small community together. There's sort of Xena Poppy, Demon Mama, President Sunday interacting, a couple of other tangential people, but it seems like that's incredibly insular.
It can be. It can be incredibly insular at times. It can be incredibly close-knit. I'm sorry, this is just really...
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Heavy right now.
I love that Patch has to take a minute to calm down because this is just so very stressful to them. They can't handle any of this, obviously. Oh my goodness, everybody's muted. No. Sam.
No, I'm still here.
I'm just wish I was dead.
Please don't do that. We like having you around. And I keep telling you people, that is not the solution. Homicide's the solution.
This is true.
True.
I've done it.
What do you mean you've done it? B is a danger to society.
In at least 5 states.
I've sacrificed people to the corn. I am the corn lord.
This is true.
It was me.
Let's
I got
hopefully.
sacrificed.
Oh my goodness. Let's try to finish this out.
Poppy,
yes,
much like a lot of people with traumatenic disorders, tends to create close-knit groups around herself, both as a safety net and a way to protect herself. She surrounds herself with people she trusts in order to feel secure, and it's something that I've been guilty of before too. I used to be part of the Senate. I used to do the same things.
So let me
That was
correct
an
that.
unfortunate time for us.
Let me correct that.
they were not in Senate.
They were in Senate for a very small amount of time, and the reason they left was because Jace made a joke involving diapers and being a NEET a joke. And it upset Patch so much they left and only came back for the Blake call. That was it. Patch was never like heavy in I'll go ahead and use the word Vlad likes, in the trenches about all of this. They never did any of that stuff. What they did was come in, whine, weren't taken seriously by the majority of people over it, and left because they weren't getting the positive attention they wanted. And they're sitting here trying to virtue signal about that when they were doing worse stuff on the regular, again, taking a serious situation and turning it into to DID Wonderland. I'm sorry, no, you don't get that.
And for the people in the chat, no, not Jace. That was Doodle Tones' partner. This is a different Jace. The cooler
The
Jace.
snake Jace.
Yeah,
Jace.
that Jace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the cooler.
The only Jace.
It's
the true
not
Jace.
Doodle Diapers, god damn it. I will fucking... Anyway, keep going.
I'm not gonna pretend that I'm innocent.
Yeah, I think people can fall into these things, but also I think there's a difference between falling into these things and creating an environment where you're doing harm. And this isn't just like a reaction to trauma. This is creating an environment that causes it. I think this is part of the problem as well. Like,
No,
I don't know what Xena. I don't know what Poppy has got. No, it's fine. I'm just kind of giving a perspective back to you. But I don't know what's happened to Poppy. I don't know enough of her history. But it's really easy to pull back on the thing of, oh well, people go through abuse. But Poppy is somebody who is a qualified psychiatrist, as far as I'm aware, who was working their job consistently, lost their job, again, from what I've heard from other people around that community, because of the stuff that they were posting on Twitter, was given the ultimatum to shut the fuck up or leave the job, chose to leave the job, currently has essentially built a culture of personality around them. These seem like choices. And they don't seem like, oh, I'm just really mentally ill and need help. They seem like a concerted, long-term choice to create an environment in which you are completely in control while using, qualified counselor, thanks, Shadow, while using the skills you have to continue that long-term manipulation. Because again, like, you can have mental illnesses, that's fine, but many people have those, but don't then destroy other people's lives over them.
Can I clarify something? Because this is also criticism I'm getting in the chat. I do not believe that disorders excuse actions, ever. I want to make that clear.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Patch absolutely does, by the way. They do think that.
Not to excuse them. I am of the personal belief that regardless of sanity or psychosis, if you cause harm to others, you need to take accountability. I have BPD too. If I have a splitting episode, an episode of psychosis, and I lash out and cause harm to people, if I get aggressive and violent and verbally abusive, if I
That
cause
what that
harm,
32-page
it doesn't
doc
matter
was,
that
Patch?
It doesn't matter that I was unstable.
Long
and
split.
unaware of my surroundings at the time. I still caused harm.
Where's Weavis'
when I
apology
bring
then,
up the
Patch?
mental illnesses of the people involved, it is strictly from a perspective of trying to analyze.
I'm never getting that
from
shit.
my perspective.
Yeah.
It is in good faith.
I'm sorry,
It is
dude.
not to say
Nope.
that Poppy and Z are not responsible for their actions. They are. Even if you're not lucid when you do something, even if you're not sable or well of mind when you do something, you still did it. And so you have to take accountability. And you know what? I was going to do this in private, but now I'm going to say it in public. Poppy, Z, I know you're going to watch this because you watch every video that gets made about you. This is your ultimatum.
I have to signal to everybody that now I must disavow them because this is how Patch is.
Better help. Get these intrusive behaviors into remission, get in better control, build better coping mechanisms, fix your shit, or I am gone. I will
Or
walk.
I am gone. Not I'm gone.
I will
It's
leave just
or
like
I
everyone
am
else
gone.
if you do not hold yourselves accountable and fix yourselves.
Ugh.
I'm being fucking serious this time. I'm not, this isn't
But I
me
wasn't the
having a
last
disagreement with you
time.
over a tweet. This is about real behavior. This is about harm
As
that you
opposed
have
to
caused.
pretend behavior.
Real behavior. The people are real. The cases are real. Judge Joe Brown.
Fix it.
As opposed to present behavior.
Yes.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, that's. I think that's at least that answers things for people in chat. I think that's. I don't know if Poppy and Zena are going to watch this. I've noticed a trend
So,
of me covering
like,
people and everyone talking about
What
everyone
soap
else who covers
opera
them
was
and never me.
Patch trying
I'm
to
very.
pretend
I'm
to be a
always touched
part
by it.
of? General Hospital, All My Children, Days of Our Lives.
It's all my children. All my
Gaze,
children. 100%.
gaze of our lives.
Oh, God.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Lamau.
The Young and the Restless, or as how my mom, or as my mom calls it, the Young and the Worthless.
Ha!
Oh
I
my
will
god.
stand by.
That's a good one. That's actually a good one.
All my children.
Good lord.
Also, I'm with Chuli Lio. Bring back the bird.
The bird was in a recent video. Go watch it.
I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care?
The bird needs to rap battle someone again.
Oh my god,
Yes.
no.
Very quickly, Baffa for $5. The other after chat. Patch used to be friends with Lion and Poppy. They've been dealing with situations like this for years. Stay strong, Patch. Yeah, so Patch.
Yes, it's Patch that needs the empathy. Stay strong, Patch. I'm sorry you keep getting full, Patch. Let me go ahead and just be a little cruel here, if that's okay with the council.
Go off, King.
Yeah, you have fun.
90% of our interactions was Patch coming to me for help in either mitigating a situation they caused or they let blow up on them, or financial help. So the problem with Patch is Patch doesn't actually want to work. All right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and dog on anybody who needs SSR or whatever that's called. What is it called again, B? I forget what the actual...
SSI.
SSI, yes. SSR. The USSR. SSI or whatever to survive. I'm not going to dog on people who actually need that, but Patch didn't. And the problem with that is Patch is desperate for anything that they think can get them ahead in terms of money without actual work. So they fell for at least 2 different bank scams because they thought they were going to get a payout from it because they fancied themselves a writer. And I had to bail them out financially from that. Just like when they were doing their apology tour for the awful things they drew for Lily, they didn't finance that, I did. And you know what? I recently gave Patch some money too. I bought their goofy book about the rules on the internet, and we'll do probably a separate stream going over that because it is the most hypocritical, laughable garbage I have ever seen in my life. Book, quote unquote.
Derogatory.
Derogatory.
Actually, that's
Hold
the
on,
book. That's the book me and the Polycule have read and reacted to. I'm hoping to have it done by Sunday. So yeah.
I have the best image. Laya won't get it, but Monstrous will. This is the image that I posted when they said book.
Book.
Reading slur.
Oh no.
I do want to point out when Lio bought that book, I believe I called it Neat Declassified Internet Survival Guide, and I'm pretty proud of that one.
It's a good one.
That's pretty good, actually.
That is what it was.
All right, I gotta hop off. I'm getting tired.
Good night,
Later,
Monstrous.
Y'all have fun. Thanks.
All right.
Take it easy.
All right, so let's see if we can
Okay,
finish
well,
this out. Go to bed, B.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah,
yeah.
Get out of here. Get on out of here. We'll go ahead and just close out the section on Patch here because I think we've covered all we really need to when it comes to Patch. If they're still working for Manga Common, he's a moron. Let him reap what he sows on that. I know what he says behind the scenes. I'm not as dumb as he thinks I am. So I'm just going to let that filter into the ether. I am, again, sorry, Weebish, you had to deal with this garbage. I know what it's like to be accused of being an abuser with literally no evidence.
Not fun. To put it fucking lightly.
No. Oh, and this is news. Sky says, what always bothered me is Patch had this account called Ancom Help Desk, which was supposed to be a community organizer account for mutual aid for people in Portland, but they started using it for Senate/Lio drama stuff as opposed to their not important community organizing. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. What a
Oh, yeah,
champion.
I remember that. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I thought you knew, yeah. They were using it to get involved in fucking drama, and yeah, I was like, why are they doing that on that account? But okay.
Well, it was in vogue at the time for people to use accounts that were supposed to be for important things to rage about me, so shrug, as the kids say.
True.
So, yeah. Subscribe to me if you want to see us dunk on that shitty book. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we
Bye.
gotta go.
Good night. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably head out too because I don't give a shit about Opal. But I will say I do think that Hitler thing that they did is still probably the only good thing they've ever done in their life. Because that was really funny. But other than that, later, Lio.
Later. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take a moment, and then we are going to handle the Opal stuff. I just need a minute to repair because I got videos and whatnot, so going to put up the BRB, and I'll be right back. It won't be even 5 minutes.
Stay with us. Thundercats will be back after this.
And once again, I return. Now, give me a minute. Let me go ahead and plop these people off since they are no longer here. Monstrous. All right, so it is time now to talk about the Opal. Now, I know this is going to be a bit weird because I didn't really mention Opal much at all in my responding to things video. There's a reason for that. Now, my background with Opal is Opal was actually the first member of what I had of the Found Family. Opal is somebody that my community as a whole in Senate took an absurd amount of care for. And what I mean an absurd amount of care is, unlike with the others, in some cases, Opal was taken care of by everybody. People made sure Opal was fed properly. People made sure Opal was mentally okay. And in one specific case, Monstrous, and of course Coyote, drove Opal to the police station mid-pandemic so Opal could file a police report on the guy who sexually assaulted her when she was a minor. A guy that we had chased offline multiple times when he was trying to harass Opal. Now, I had a lot of care for Opal. Alright? I did. Opal left my family unit, as my video stated, in November of 2022 with I'm not going to show the piece of paper, not unless Opal's dumb enough to escalate. With a whole list of reasons why she didn't want to be around, it ultimately came down to I had values that she did not want to meet up to because it made her anxious, quote unquote. Now, Opal was not forced to be here. Opal had every right in the world to leave. It's fine. What Opal then did, though, was during 2024, did a bunch of really crappy things behind the scenes, and yes, I have those calls. I know what was said. In one case, at least taking a situation I communicated to her that was traumatic and turned it into a weapon against me, because that's just how these people do. Opal was supporting Jay and Jordan with the zero evidence that they had. And a whole bunch of scummy stuff. Opal was going to jump in on it. Maybe not as heavily as the others did, but they were going to. Until they found out that I knew what was going on. That's where Opal's call with Jordan, where they're sitting there arguing with Jordan about the definition of abuse and all that. That's where that came from. It was because they were afraid, and they have admitted they were afraid. They were afraid I was going to use their name, I was going to use them in videos, whatever. Opal deleted everything and ran offline. The only piece of her that remained was a video where she apologizes for certain things. Now, I want to go a little bit back on the timeline for some of this, all right? So when Opal left my family unit, fine, whatever. Did it hurt? Yeah. Suck a little? Sure. However, she didn't quite want to leave. Because one thing Opal has done, at least it seems from my opinion, Opal is a trans fetishist. Because Opal, much like Patch, was obsessed with Poppy and Xena to an absurd degree. And they sure loved Opal. And not in the familial way, if you get my drift. Now, at one point, Opal approached Queen Seraphina, asking if she could come into Sarah's server, only to decide not to when she found out I have never left there. The reason why? Opal fetishizes trans people. And that's what Queen Seraphina is, so therefore, must be done that way. Let's see if this thing... Sorry, my YouTube's giving me a bit of an issue here. It is not showing me the chat. Which, I'm sure you can imagine, is a bit of a pain. So let me see if I can do it this way. You're going to hear some echoing for just a moment. See? There we go. I don't know why, but in studio it's not showing me the chat. I don't know why it's not, so I had to pull up the actual physical stream via link to get the chat to show. It's telling me the widget's not available. Fun. Anywho. I don't plan on covering manga comments, so no. Anywho, so that was what it was, right? Now, up until a couple of weeks ago, we had not heard or seen hide or hair of Opal. I declined in 2024 talking to her, because what else was I going to say? Because in 2024, her bowing out completely was releasing a Google Doc that she made with another deranged human being who went by the name of Zavaya to talk about me and, for some reason, to post pornography people have made of the two of us. Because that's just a sane thing to do. Now, Opal also admitted in a call that I was recently given, or rather, I guess a video I was recently given, that, Chaser, brother, I'd have to do some digging. This, again, you can take most of this by grain of salt if you want to. That's fine. It's not the most condemning thing in the world in terms of that. But, they admitted in a video I was recently passed, it never went public, that they are the person who helped Zavaya, and I quote, scrub through old Senate calls. And for the record, when it comes to Zavaya scrubbing through Senate calls, probably to remove the unhinged things Zavaya would say. Because Zavaya would say some severely unhinged things in those Senate calls. Some of them, I will have you know, was Zavaya threatening to dox people just for annoying them. Just annoying them. Nothing else. Wasn't she traumatized when you took her in? Who's not traumatized nowadays? Anyways. And they gave it to a Fox Mafia stooge by the name of Neora. You know, the one who did the destruction of the Senate doc that we made fun of a couple of years ago on this channel. Because Zavaya is sane like that. Zavaya has also been dealing with somebody they claim is stalking them and all this other stuff, while neglecting to inform the public that they did revenge pornography of this previous partner just as much, or not just as much as, but they did as well. So, Zavaya is insane. Actually, I apologize. Not insane. Insanity can't be helped. Zavaya is malicious. And Opal was happy to go along with it. And maybe one day we'll go over that video. But what Opal did a couple months ago is they came back and they did 2 videos. One titled, I'm sorry I was in Senate because we must put lashes upon them for being in a server. AKA, Opal's trying to get in on that bandwagon. The second one, I think, of course, people are going to be more interested because it's a specific creator called An Apology to Lily Orchard. So we're going to try to get through both of them. And I'm going to try not to lose my mind here. So I'm going to put it at 2 times speed because Opal talks very slowly. Thankfully, these videos aren't like hours long. They're only a few minutes each. So this one's 8 minutes. So let's go ahead and hear what Opal has to say.
Hello, I'm Opal. At least that's what I used to go by. Today I'm going to be apologizing for my involvement in the Discord server known as the Senate. Initially I wanted to give a bunch of context about every single thing, but I won't. The only things I'll say is this. These things happened between the ages of 15 to 20, and I want to talk about my memory issues in a little in-depth before we continue.
That's inaccurate, Danger. She never made porn of me? What are you on about? I never said that. She posted links to porn people made of us. Anyways, continuing.
I know that Aaron, formerly known as Hopeless Peaches, said he also had memory problems, and many people saw this as an excuse to lessen his actions.
Sorry, guys. There's only so much I can turn this up. I mean, she's just really quiet. Like, as you can see, I have the audio maxed out on the player, as well as on OBS, so I don't know how much more I can put this up. Slow it down just a little bit? Okay, I guess that's fair. I'll put it at 1.5.
Aware that this will probably be seen in a similar light, and I want to make it clear that I'm not saying this for sympathy. So, for that reason, and also no longer wanting to have my personal information be out there in the public, I'll keep the details out of it. I suffered multiple forms of abuse off and on from first grade age to the age of 17. I'm trying to seek therapy for this, but it's difficult since it's a high-intensity case, as opposed to the typical counseling format. Because of this, I spent a lot of my childhood disassociating and trying to block out the things that were happening to me. This has made it to the point that much of my childhood feels like a blur, and I need things like objects from the time to remember things. I'm working with professionals on this. The way that this has affected my life now is that I have a difficult time remembering times of prolonged stress. My time in the Senate was very stressful, but it's very difficult to remember the specifics. I've heard recorded calls of myself that I have no memory of. I've seen screenshots I don't remember posting. Not all, but some.
Here's the thing. Here's one thing I do absolutely disagree with. I can sit here and rage about the magical lost memory that all these people tend to have. I honestly don't buy it with Opal, because Opal multiple times had to be sat down in Senate and told to stop obsessing over these calls. Opal would catalog every single call and would fall asleep listening to them intentionally. I'm sorry, but I can't buy the I don't remember from Opal specifically. I'm sorry, but I can't.
I remember some things, and I remember many of my feelings, but it's very hard to remember specifics. But I know that I hurt a lot of people.
Let me see if I can try to boost the audio in the same way I had to do my mic. Give me a moment here. filters. Apologies, chat. Okay. Gain. Okay. Alright, we're going to try this. Okay, chat? We'll see if this works. Let me know if this works.
I don't remember their usernames or all the specifics, but I know people have been hurt by me. I've harassed and bullied people. I don't believe I actually doxed anybody, but I was complicit in the doxing of many people.
Most of that done by Zvaya, I want to be very clear.
When I upgraded my terrible laptop and was able to record calls, I did. A lot. Much of this was because I had been surrounded by this culture from a young age, but I was an adult during the worst of my involvement. Even if I thought it was normal, it wasn't.
Also, if she has such a memory issue, what's she even remembering that she thinks she did wrong? Very curious questions.
Actions hurt people. I would go on...
I also want to be clear, the people that were quote-unquote hurt in Opal's involvement were always freaks. Always lolicons, shotacons, child predators. That's who she's apologizing to. And if you think that's hyperbole, wait, it's not.
On Twitter for hours and try to pick fights with people, specifically lolly show accounts. I'd call them terrible things, pester them, trick them under alt accounts to get them into the Senate so I can debate them and humiliate them.
Which was based. I don't apologize for any of that.
I did this because I had a lot of anger over what happened to me as a kid. If I couldn't hurt those who hurt me, I'd hurt others who were socially acceptable to be cruel to instead. That wasn't right. Even if you think that these people are morally repugnant or whatever, my intentions were not good.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? It has been my experience that there's only two types of people who defend not being mean to freaks and predators. People who are them or people who are friends with them, with much overlap therein. So I'm starting to, and I have some other thoughts that I'm not going to divulge here publicly unless Opal gets really stupid, but I have my own suspicions about certain things.
I wasn't on the moral high ground or being objective. I was lashing out. I no longer hold the view that if you consume taboo, controversial art like Lolly Show, that you're automatically, objectively, all of them, 100% are dangerous people.
Here's the thing. The definition of pedophile is somebody who is sexually attracted to children. Not somebody who goes out and harms kids, not somebody who molests them. It is the sexual attraction. I'm sorry. If this offends you, you'll get over it. I don't care. If you are attracted to Lolly and Shotacon, which are intentionally drawn with childish neotenous features in order to emulate a child's looks, you are a pedophile. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That is what you are. And Opal is apologizing to them.
Human psychology, trauma, culture, and a billion other things can lead someone to being into those sort of things for non-dangerous reasons.
Excuses is what that is.
Do I think that means that none of them are? No. But my black and white worldview on this is no longer something I hold. But I'm not here to give my thesis on the matter, just to announce, for lack of a better word, that I no longer hold those views and that anyone that I made feel lesser, dirty, hurt, or unsafe, I'm sorry.
I'll tell you why she's doing it, Double D. It's because if she gets exposed for something similar, she can point that she apologized for being cruel to others. It was a hope for mercy. Lio, are you homophobic? No, but I've been told I'm hydrophobic.
Secondly, I want to apologize to anyone who I essentially targeted for sport. I kind of remember it being encouraged to fight with people because lots of debates and fighting was only done by a few mods. They were frustrated people put all of the heavy lifting onto them. So I would try and get a win, quote-unquote, and pick on random people sometimes.
The random quote-unquote people, of course, being child predators and pedophiles that we must, I guess, supposedly apologize to. Fantastic.
This got me into trouble once where I ganged up on a guy who wasn't really an internet person. I asked him personal questions like what his opinions on Zoom were and if he had ever experienced SA. I
actually have no idea who Opal's talking about here. Maybe this was something I wasn't involved in. I don't know.
I don't even remember why I asked that last part. I think I just wanted to be cool and win, quote-unquote, so bad that I stooped to low lows. I don't remember what his name was, but I'm sorry to you. I think that was the worst I did, but...
If he was a creepy predator person, I don't apologize to you. I hope the worst for you.
To anyone else I picked on in that matter, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve to be bullied by me or anyone. I'm sorry for...
More apology to predators. Also, yes, I can swim. I'm Hispanic. I primarily have Mexican in me. You're darn right I can swim. And also, hydrophobic in the same way people are homophobic. I will fight water. That's how I swim. I punch the water.
Always recording calls as if something important was going on. So much of this was shitty internet drama and being so obsessed with archiving everything. It was creepy, weird, and not okay, and I'm sorry.
We did tell Opal that it was creepy and weird that they were obsessed with archiving, but the apology is, of course, not towards us. It's also not towards the people that she treated poorly, the people that she left behind because they were scared they would be named by something, or the other things. There's other things Opal's done, and I'm not going to put it out into the ether without the person's permission in terms of noting who it is. Opal has unironically, in one instance, and before the gossip mongers go around, no, not towards me, where Opal has unironically been a homewrecker. Knowingly doing so. It's actually disgusting, but that's not what she's apologizing for. That doesn't matter. Bullying freaks is the thing she needs to apologize for.
I'm sorry the word degenerate ever left my mouth. It is incredibly egotistical to believe that I had any authority to determine whether or not somebody was degenerating or regressing society
Then you can't say what you're about to then.
based on my personal values. Underdeveloped values. Subjective values. All while
Well, you're also complaining about people doing that then, which would degenerate society, which you say that you don't have the wherewithal to determine.
using terminology primarily used by groups of people who would hate me inherently anyway.
Yeah, but by your own values, Opal, that means you can't judge them for their values because you don't know what would degenerate a society. The truth of the matter is, I know that far-right weirdos use the term degenerate to describe anybody they don't like, but the word does not belong to them. I'm sorry, but it does not. You can use the word degenerate and not be attacking some random gay or trans person.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ever participating in witch hunts, especially when I had no idea what was going on.
You cannot call outing predators a witch hunt, because the term witch hunt implies that it's for no reason or because those things don't exist. There were no witches in Salem. There are child predators online.
I remember kind of going with the flow a lot, which led me to essentially dogpile on anyone the group thought of as quote-unquote bad. I was acting as if I was a soldier in the army of the morally righteous when all I was doing was bullying people in Discord calls.
You see, what Opal also likes to do is Opal will take arguments from other people, who especially if they're hyper-focusing on that creator, and identify it with themselves and use it. So Opal, unironically, is just, nice opinion, what YouTuber did you get it from? The person.
We didn't clean up the internet. We didn't get rid of degenerates. We bullied random weirdos in Discord calls, recorded them, sometimes publishing those calls for public humiliation and content, and even did this to kids sometimes.
I would like to know the latter part, because she uses it uses it plural, but it's Opal. Remember, she doesn't remember, but she totally remembers. And on top of that, no, this is again how I know she's talking about another YouTuber she's getting this value from, probably somebody she's crushing on. We did it for content. Look, you can say it's content when feeding the artist, which is a joke I would say. Julie and I have had extensive conversations about this, but it was public awareness that these people are around and they're doing XYZ thing. I mean, be for real. When you say cleaning up, do you expect me to kill them? I mean, give me a day pass, we'll see what happens. But we did the best we could. We filed police reports. We did everything that we knew in our power at the time to do. Yes, we embarrassed freaks in calls. We published it, letting people know what these people are. I will not apologize for that.
I sat in Discord calls as people looked for the numbers of children's parents to call them.
Say the name. Zavia. The person you worked with.
We did this to adults too. If the parents didn't immediately start punishing or removing the people we didn't like off the internet, we'd call them names and say that they were failures as parents.
Who's we exactly? See, this is also one thing that Opal does. No specificity. But they don't remember, guys. But they'll sit here and denote specific things, but not specifically who was doing it. Because Opal wants to paint everything with a large brush, because that's just who Opal is.
Sometimes to their face. I didn't do any of this personally.
Oh no, unironically, there have been times parents have hopped on calls and they have said on his things that we told them to their face, you're a moron. And I stand by calling them morons.
But I didn't say it was wrong. I never doxed anyone, but I didn't say it was wrong. And for that, I'm truly sorry. I'm not saying everyone who was victimized was some pure, wholesome person who was just bullied for no logical reason.
And yet you're here literally apologizing to child predators.
However, I don't think the people who were dangerous should have been in Discord calls to fight to begin with. It was just catharsis. That's it.
And this is Opal projecting her personal opinion, or whatever opinion she was given, onto everybody.
That's the thing no one wants to admit. Most of us were victimized as children, or autistic, or a combination of the two. We thought that bullying the people who, in our minds, represented our abusers would make the wounds heal.
No, that's what you thought. This is, again, Opal applying their value to everyone.
But all we were doing was picking at the scab. That where we just wanted control over something because we didn't have control over our lives.
which is, again, an Opal problem. It's certainly not a me problem.
I'm sure each person has their own reasons, but that is the pattern that I see, at least from what I can remember.
Which, of course, magically, your memory only works in specific situations. Thank you, Hopeless Peaches.
I'm sorry I was ever a part of this culture. I'm sorry I harassed people. I'm sorry I hurt people. I'm just really sorry.
They have the Mandela catalog sensor on their face because this is one of Opal's little personas. They'd always like put themselves out looking like a miner of some sort, so read into that however you will. But if anybody thought the thumbnail was me being hyperbolic about I'm sorry for being mean to people who like kids, it's not. I wasn't being hyperbolic in that thumbnail. I was being quite literal. So this is her apology for being in Senate, which, you know, Senate had its problems. I'm not going to deny that. There's a lot of reflecting I've had to do. I've listened back to a lot of different calls and wondered what the heck I was on or what my problem was. But bullying predators was not a problem. Giving grief to lolicons and shotacons was not a problem. This is just dishonest and gross. There are calls in Senate that should not have happened. Those were not them. Every single one of them should be mocked and put in the dirt, and I will not apologize for that. Now, on to the next one, because this is the one everybody's going to be interested in, because I'll go ahead and give a little bit of background here before I fully start playing the video. Right?
So...
Come on, get
I'm
going to give some background here. So, this was Opal's magnum opus. Opal was able to do what other creators hadn't before and was able to 100% unquestionably tie Stockholm to Lily. Because other people weren't able to properly do that. There was always some level of argumentation that could have been made that it may not have been Lily or that it may be deceptive or whatever. Because bronies kind of suck at sourcing things, right? And on top of that, bronies also have a bad habit, just like a lot of other people even in commentary, of focusing on the wrong things. So when I was around that sphere, most of the talk about Lily Orchard came down to, she's mean about her opinions. She wasn't nice to my friend. She stole somebody's art. And I'm sorry, I don't care. All right? I'm mean. I have opinions. I don't steal art, but that's a lot less egregious than, I don't know, being a rapist, being a child predator. Everybody wanted to focus on her media takes, which is the dumbest thing in the world to do. And yes, even to some point, I was speaking to the freaking choir here, because I had at least one stream where I was asked by certain people to do a takedown on one of her gay videos. No, Lily Orchard is a child predator, a rapist, and all the other things in between, and that needs to be focused at all times. It should never be about whether or not she's wrong about freaking Steven Universe. Who cares? Oh my god, who cares? Now, fun fact about this video, though, tying them to Stockholm. A lot of this video was done while Opal was down here visiting for that Thanksgiving. This was Opal's hyperfixation for the better part of a year, to tie Lily to this. Now, I was hoping that it would come down to, I don't know, just wanting to show people what Lily actually was like. I have suspicion now that it's because Lily rejected her as a fan, which is a certain thing. Now, there are going to be people who are going to ask, well, Lyle, why haven't you talked about Lily, yada, yada, yada. Number one, everybody and their freaking mom does. All right? And number two, the one person who approached me wanting me to talk about Lily directly wanted me to go off of literal nothing. They wanted me to make accusations without any solid evidence at all. Not even shaky evidence, literally no evidence, and is now still mad I didn't run with it. I'm sorry, I had to deal with people who had actual victims that were known about, not what-ifs. Sorry, can't do that. Just the truth of the matter. That's a good way to ruin any credibility you could have by saying, well, I'm going to do a video because it's possible it could be a groomer. No, you need actual evidence. No, it wasn't Courtney that came to me. You people, no. Heck no. Courtney did their own video. And frankly, I'll go ahead and say it this way. If a victim can make their own video and be their own advocate, that is the best course of action they can take if they have the capability. If they had the spoons for it, they absolutely should. Now, this video has been cited in multiple other videos. This video was actually solid. It was good, unironic investigative work. This is going to be Opal apologizing for it. You guys are actually going to get angry. Because you know the Senate one pissed me off? This is egregious. And it's 9 minutes long. So let's go.
Video about the YouTuber previously known as Lily Orchard a few years ago. She apparently goes by CD now, so that's what I'll be calling her. I took it down, and then for personal reasons, stopped using the vast majority of my social media. This isn't a comeback or anything, I guess I just felt obligated to make this now. The video was about a written work by CD that was half epic, half story, involving pedophilia, rape, and domestic abuse, and so many other things. It is certainly controversial, disturbing to many, and something CD has made efforts to hide. I don't stand by this video. I don't like this video. I want to publicly disavow it. Not only has a re-upload of the video gotten over 500,000 views, but it's also been featured in multiple very popular videos attacking CD. Not only do I regret making this video because of how it's contributed to a culture I legitimately despise, but despite my admitted dislike of CD, it has also contributed to
the culture of calling people out who are predatory and freaks. Opal despises that culture now, by the way, just so you're aware.
Actual stalking she's faced. I felt guilty about this video for a long time, and despite the fact that I know it won't get to all of the people who have seen it, I hope that it puts a little dent into it. When initially writing this script, I made a list with a ton of hyper-specific reasons I'm making this, going really in-depth into stuff that doesn't matter. There's a lot of small reasons that contributed to the creation of this video, but
I'll get to the super chats. Doggone it, Beckett, at the end of the stream.
After doing a lot of work personally and professionally, I've come to the conclusion that the main reason I made the video was because I was so angry. I was hurt as a kid, and I wasn't content with the lack of closure. And I needed somewhere to put that anger. If I couldn't yell at the person who hurt me, the next best thing was taking it out on someone else. CD was who I chose to take it out on. There are reasons why, but they aren't important. We were never friends or knew each other in any meaningful way. It was all on my end, personally. It was wrong of me to do that. CD could be everything the internet says about her and worse, and it still wouldn't have justified the posting of this video.
She could be a rapist, she could be a child predator, or worse, and it wouldn't justify making a video tying them to their gross fan fiction where they justify children being molested. Yes, Opal, very intelligent take.
Because besides being cringy and overreacting to a piece of fan art I made that people blew way out of proportion, and hurting somebody I was friends with for a long time, CD didn't do anything to me. I'll say this, I think CD absolutely wrote that fanfic. I think that she's very poorly lied about it, and has prolonged the drama about it for way too long. But at the end of the day, why should I care? Why should I care if CD wrote a pedophilic fanfic? Why should I care if she lied about it? Why should I care?
Why should I care if somebody does something predatory or something that points to the idea that they are sexually interested in children? Why should I care? Why this nobody cares argument for internet debauchery or nonsense like that only works in very specific ways. If it's somebody's harmless fetish, who cares? If it's somebody drawing cringe fan art, who cares? I'm sorry, but if you sexualize children, that's not a who cares, that's a please become a statistic ASAP. That's how it is. That's just how it is. That's how reality works.
About CD at all. I don't like her. She's not like a co-worker I'm forced to be around. She's not a family member or somebody I'm connected to legally in some way. She's a random woman online who makes reviews I don't like, about things I don't care about, and who I will never meet. I'm not going to deny the fact that the fanfic she wrote was controversial and offensive. I'm not going to deny that it was illegal where she lives, not that I care.
Remember, you shouldn't care if something's illegal. For some reason. Now, if you do something to Opal and she calls the police, then therefore somehow that's fine. You should care about that, but not if it's something Opal personally doesn't care for. Now, here's the thing. There are some laws that are dumb. I don't trust, like, authority in general. Odd from the Bible thumper, but still. But saying I don't care about laws is, I'm going to be mean. It's a degenerate thing. It does degenerate society.
I'm not going to deny that I don't like CD. There could have been a lot of reasons why she wrote the story that weren't malicious or cause for concern, though. The way that I framed her intentions, not actually knowing them, was wrong of me. I'm not going to go into a giant thesis about this right now, since it's not the time. But even if it was all written for purely indulgent reasons, I don't think that finding enjoyment out of that stuff inherently makes you a pedophile.
Yes, enjoying children being sexually assaulted doesn't mean you're a pedophile, even though the definition of pedophilia is finding children sexually enjoyable. Congratulations, Opal, you're very smart.
Danger to those around you. I'm not a doctor, and if I was, I wouldn't be talking about a specific person online.
These are all argumentation points that she's gotten from lolicons and shotacons that we've bullied. That's literally what this all is.
I am not in her head. I am not even her friend. I and you do not have enough information on her to be making that call.
I do, actually. I have more than enough information. If you write a fiction where children are getting assaulted and it's considered quite lovely. Statistic. Immediately. You should be deplatformed, and you should not be on this earth. Ta-da! Just did. It's not hard.
Even if we want to. And before you say anything, I'm not saying that you have to be a doctor to call, say, a predator a predator. We are talking about an instance in which no children were harmed in the making of the story.
By the way, this video came out in April. This year, by the way. Which means there's no way she didn't know about Courtney. No way.
And so we are allowed a new level of nuance. Who did CD envision herself as in the story? The abuser or the abused?
See, that's the pseudo-intellectualism.
The adult or the child? The adagio or the sonata?
It's pretty obvious she pictured herself as the older person because she has an obsession with sexualizing children. And you know that. You are willfully being dishonest.
I can make guesses, but at the end of the day, I don't know, and you don't know. I'm not calling CD some amazing person who did nothing wrong, even in the involvement of the creation of the story. The stuff regarding the co-author is certainly concerning. She has hurt somebody I was friends with. She has a lot of allegations on her plate, and I'm not going to say those are wrong either, because I don't know. I don't like CD. But because of the impact my act...
You know, saying you don't like her multiple times doesn't in fact change the fact that you are apologizing for exposing her being a creep and making apologia for her making a Predator fanfiction.
...actions have had on not just her, but many people. I want to say this. I'm sorry. What I did was damaging and long-lasting and contributing to a culture that harasses, doxes, and hurts people.
I hope the worst for Lily. And so should everyone else.
Not even specific sites or people, just internet culture. The re-upload has over 500,000 views, and has been mentioned in videos with even more. I've fed into a narrative that ending somebody's career, relationships, even life, is okay because they did something I personally disagree with.
This isn't a topping on ice cream. This isn't taste in a show. This isn't, well, agree to disagree. This is literally somebody writing about children being molested and taking sexual pleasure in it, who also raped her sister. So, no, Opal, this isn't just agree to disagree. At all. Good night, Julie. No. And that painting it like that is absurdly dishonest.
Putting myself up as if I know anything about anything. That my morality is the one that should be followed because I'm just the smartest, most goodest, most intellectualist guy.
That's a straw man, by the way. Even in, like, our most pompous and arrogant, nobody in our circles claimed anything like that nature.
No, I'm not. I never was. No one is. That doesn't mean we should just lie on our backs when stuff we think is wrong happens.
But that's what you're advocating for. Don't call this stuff out. Don't point it out. Don't do any of that because who cares, right? That's exactly what you said earlier.
But what has doing this gotten us?
I mean, it's exposed people to Lily's debauchery. It's made it very clear what she is. Now, people not willing to actually own that and instead focusing on her stupid cartoon takes is a problem. But Lily uses that to hide. Willfully. She uses these morons. If people hammered on this stuff, like, properly, and her being a rapist, it would do a lot of good.
She's still here. Shane Dawson is still here. Jake Paul is still here. Chris Brown and Drake are still here.
Yes, but you minimize their reach by pointing out their problems. Also, is Chris Brown a predator? I thought he was just a domestic abuser. Not that that's a small thing still. But, yeah, saying that because everything doesn't work immediately the way we hope it does means we should not do this. Okay, Opal. Never get in a relationship again, then.
Being informed is a beneficial thing. Spreading the word can also be beneficial, but there's a point where it stops being spreading the word and becomes obsessing over a stranger doing things I don't like. It stops being raising awareness and becomes I like watching people hurt.
I take no problem with child predators hurting. I'm sorry, I don't. Actually, not sorry, I do. I love it. I love watching them hurt because I don't care. I don't see them as people. Now, I'm not going to sit there and, like, feed myself constant predator getting outed videos, but if one shows up in my spaces, I will get rid of them. And if I am able to hop in a call with them, I am going to dismantle their life, because screw them, I hate them, they hurt kids, die.
Chubby Archive, or anyone else who archived this video on YouTube, this isn't a threat, your channels aren't in danger. I'm just politely requesting this. Please take the video down. It is archived on different websites, and the information is in other videos that have been seen by far more people. The information is out there, and deleting it from your channel will not delete it from the internet.
And for the record, I couldn't find a re-upload of this video on YouTube. This was on the Internet Archive, where I pulled this from. The image, rather. this was actually given by Durando, I believe his name is, so I appreciate him downloading Opal's videos, because they're not up anymore. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But no, the person who re-uploaded all this apparently is taking it down at Opal's request. Very intelligent.
I'm just asking nicely. I'm not mad at you or any.
And I want to be clear, I could be extremely petty and upload this on my channel. I could be so petty and upload the entire video on my channel, and I might do it. I haven't decided yet.
Anything like that. I'm just asking as a human being. My peace of mind and well-being would be better if you took it down. Thank you. Opal isn't coming back.
Even though you did.
Regret the person I was when I went under that name. And for anyone I made feel small, hurt, or even straight up harassed back then, I'm sorry to you too.
I'm not. I hope you all die.
You didn't deserve to be an outlet for my
If you're a predator, I hope you die.
trauma. It was unhealthy to me and hurtful to you. I don't enjoy having relationships, platonic or otherwise, online.
I can promise you that she's in a relationship with somebody, because these opinions are not organic of Opal.
I've grown up a lot.
She's grown up a lot, which means that she is apologizing to predators. That's what growing up means, obviously.
A lot of different real-life relationships and have been going through a mental health journey with professionals. Not therapists yet, but professionals like psychiatrists and the like. I'm closing the chapter of this part of my life. I'm taking Opal with me. I'm sorry for those I hurt, and I thank those who were my friends. I still think about you, and I still love you.
Even though you cut contact with all of them, even though you won't apologize for the actual wrong things you've done to them, you'll just tab this on the end of your I'm apologizing to a rapist and expect people to care.
I'm sure you'll see me again. Just different. Goodbye.
Here's the thing. These videos wound up getting attention from Gallagher, the Grassmonger, who responded to it in a stream, which you should look up if you want some entertainment. He's going to be funnier. I'm going to be angry because of all this. So if you're looking for a laugh, go to him, I suppose. But some people from our inner circle saw it as well and commented on it. So now these videos and the channel have all been deleted. And yes, Patu was there too. Thank you, Patu. Yeah. Here's what I'm going to say right now, right? Opal, I know you're going to listen to this. If you stay gone and you don't come back and pull stupid crap like this, I won't do anything at this point. All right? Despite the damage you've done to the people I care about and me, like, I just don't want you back. I don't want you in these spaces. I don't want you near these spaces. I don't want you online because you are sitting here. If you hadn't done this, I probably wouldn't care about you coming back at all, overall, because I'll swallow the hurt that's been caused to me. But this apologia for child predators, you are persona non grata. And people will eventually find you, and they will dog you. And I don't blame them for it. I will consider whether or not I want to upload the Stockholm video. I will talk about it to different people I trust, whose values I trust, and then we will go from there. So, that's all I really got for content tonight, quote unquote. So instead, I'm going to now go to the super chat, since people were kind enough to throw their money at me, and we had 2 new members, which I do appreciate. So let's see here. Starting from the beginning, we have Angie Angel for $2. Old man moment, shake my head. Yes, always. Rhapsody for $1. Ren for $5. Merry Christmas. I don't celebrate it, but thank you. Patu, $2. Spoiler alert, there's nothing important in a Google Doc. Not true. I've gotten some really good enjoyment out of some Google Docs. Syphilis for $5 says, here's a $5 for dealing with stupid. Also, hi, hope you and the family are doing good and in good health. Half of us are. Digital Sketch for $5. Hashtag Weebus did nothing wrong. True, we do stand our melanated king. Syphilis for another $5. To be fair, Lyle, you should have cut off a lot of folks, but I'm in a position to really criticize. Yeah, that's fair. Pudgy the Bimbo for $2, 10 out of 10. Thank you. Digital Sketch for $5. Lyomantism. Yes, I love the form of autism my chat has. The fact that you guys were able to ID a freaking bird that I just offhandedly mentioned is amazing. Digistar DBZ for $5. Wait 1 minute. If nesting is a poly thing, does that mean Voltron is poly too? Does that make Patch a mutant? Unironically, one of the writers on Thundercats always headcanon Voltron as being gay, so take that for what you will. Sky Tapas for $5. You'll change consent and change your mind and leave our own nightstand behind, but I guess that's a song, but thank you anyways. Syphilis again for $2. What is Patch's definition of toxic? Whatever makes them uncomfortable. Lucky Ann for $5. I actually found you through Opal when you and her confronted a Lily fan who was bothering her. Yeah, that was fun. And I don't apologize for that. Just an R-slur for $2 for the bird. The bird will appreciate you helping Mariza's Dark Army. The Crab, Beckett, $10. Good news. Good news, Lio. We can be bees, Lio. What is that? I don't know what that even means. Patu for $2. No, we can't listen to the bisexual Englishman. True. Sephiroth for $5. So funny to watch those who refuse to actually stand on business all sound like sniveling children, yet are fully grown adults. Yeah? It's frustrating, I'd say. Not so much amusing. And then we have generic Grayfish for $10. I physically need these people to be put in a zoo since they want to act like animals. No. The woods. Yes, I know, we can be bees. That doesn't explain anything to me. Alright, I'm sorry, it doesn't. We can be bees. Don't mean nothing to me. But I appreciate all of you showing up. Thank you, Lyndon, now for $2. Where there's smoke, they pinch back, true. I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle for the night since it's been almost 3 hours. I will catch you all later, and I hope you enjoy the commercials at the end. Have a good night.
Get ready for explosive action with the Silverhawks. Fully hyperdrive. These space-age crime busters are going to strike a blow for justice. That's it, Silverhawks. Show them how it's done by rounding up the intergalactic mob led by public enemy #1. His name is Munstar. So soar with the superheroes that fly on wings of silver and fight with nerves of steel. The Silverhawks.
Weekday mornings at 6:30 on TV 14.
Uh-oh.
Darkwing Duck, grade A superhero who gets a D in everything else.
Launchpad, the book.
He's destructive.
Evildoers everywhere fear me.
He's deranged.
I'm sure it seems that way to the untrained eye.
He's the greatest superhero in St. Bernard.
Let's get dangerous.
But to his friends, he's just good old DW.
Gee.
Weekdays on Darkwing Duck.
Weekdays at 3 on the WB Channel 11.
The Swamp Cats. What are they doing here?
Your job, Beryl. Only a sorcerer's dark power could have brought these ancient bones to life. It must have been the past master.
Don't worry, Miss Briggs. We'll take care of it. And him.
How many lives do these cats have?
From its ashes I will create a new city where lawlessness is the law of the land.
I used to be Dr. Purvis. But now you can call me Dr. Viper.
Hey, bucket butts, is this a private party? Or can anybody join? Outstanding! Down these mean skies, a cat must fly. We want to be the good guys.
Do you think Dark Cat will surface again soon?
Well, when he does, we'll be waiting. Both of us. Count on it.
On the next all-new Ninja Turtles. Like the Phoenix, I have risen from the ashes, and into my fire, you shall fall.
Guys, I say we shred his butt once and for all.
I will not allow you to destroy my family.
My sons, retreat!
Hey, the store's getting hot.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
Next Saturday, only in the Fox Box.
Dragonis is destroying the city. Here comes the hockey-playing Mighty Ducks to save the day. Go, Mighty Ducks! Wildwing skates in and joins Grin and Duke LaRange as they stop the evil Lord Dragonis from destroying the world. Go, Mighty Ducks! Go! Wildwing fires his puck. Duke throws his grappling hook and swings into action. Grin skates in with a super crunch. Go! And here comes the Duck Cycle firing pucks to finish off Dragonis. Ducks rock! The new Mighty Ducks figures and Duck Cycle sold separately. Duck Cycle coming soon.
What hidden terror keeps the Batman awake at night?
We should
start with your childhood, yes?
Bruce.
Is there some past tragedy?
What hidden terror keeps the Batman awake? I was only a child.
Don't blame yourself.
What hidden terror? Bruce.
A need filled you.
He ain't human.
All consuming. All control.
Who are you? I'm your worst nightmare. Bruce. Don't go in there.
Why couldn't you save us? Why couldn't you save us? Why couldn't you save us, son?
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Batman. Tonight at 7 on Cartoon Network.
It's payback time.